to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another rip-roaring edition of the No Practice Podcast. It's been 2 weeks, and we are back with our hosts, Adam Kester, Chase Richardson, and myself. Adam's feeling a little under the weather. He's only going to be sipping water tonight. Chase is feeling feisty as always and looking...
No reverse takeoff jokes tonight, boys. No reverse takeoff jokes. Okay. You guys are there.
Chase, that's a tally already in the We Get It. Adam backed into the sled and an interruption. That's a double tally.
First tally of 2024. First tally
yes,
of 2024.
For those of you not watching, only listening, we've got a tally for every time Chase interrupts because it's getting so out of hand, and that's a tally for both of them right there. Let me quick get that. Adam, how we doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad, boys. How's it been going?
It's been lovely, man. It's been lovely. Have you been building any engines, Adam?
Yeah, I think every day gaining ground, I hope, on whatever I'm working on. I'm just kind of split myself up all over the place, making some new cylinder heads, repairing some blocks, doing some cylinder head work, just whatever the day comes up with is what I jump on.
Yes,
we were get some customers like me and Tyler that don't tear our stuff up, right, Tyler?
Yes, we never tear up anything, Chase. That's right. We were on the phone with you last night, Adam, just chit-chatting, and you got too close to a CNC machine, and it sounded like you were in some sort of blender. And talk about the speeds and feeds and depth of cuts. For the small bit of our audience that has a mild machining background, just how much material do you take off of a cylinder head when you're roughing those things out?
So on the cylinder head, the first operation is a 1.5-inch 3-flute. It's 5-inch long end mill, and I run about 200 thousandths deep at 350 inches a minute. So it'll throw some hoosties off the old end mill there. But we have through spindle coolant, good Haas machine. That's moving for any machinist that would know that.
Yes, it was impressive. On our end, it just sounded like, and you're like,
what are the chances we could do a podcast live from your machine shop with me and Tyler running machinery while you coach us on it? Can that ever?
That's fine. I need all the help I can get.
We won't disclose which customers it's going to, but I think that could be in the horizon. And we will not even charge MBR engines for the free advertisement. And once again, guys,
some of this stuff is so easy a caveman could do it. So Chase, you should have no problem.
Well, I'm the one that looks like a caveman, so I feel like I might be able to pull that off.
That's a big statement. I'm a caveman. Welcome back, fans. If you're just joining in, we love interacting with you. Please tell us where you're tuning in from, how much you love the show. Tyler, Adam, I hadn't had a chance to tell you guys this, but to say that have a growing audience and that people are fans of our podcast is probably an understatement. And we see the numbers each week, but I got to experience it for the first time at a pulling event, because I think, when was our first podcast? In October? I think somewhere early October.
Yeah, it was
there's
about
been no pulling
good.
since then. Yeah, so for those of you not keeping up, there was a pulling event that I went to and competed at last week in Ocala, Florida. And
I hear we're going to have the winner of the Saturday night mini rod class on the show tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, my tractor was illegal. I didn't have my front hitch fixed yet. There was a couple pullers not happy about that, but I did get permission to go before I went down there. It is getting fixed next week. But anyway, back to what I was saying about this podcast and our growing audience. Gentlemen, first pull I've been to, I think I had probably close to 20 people, a few of them pullers, but a lot of them fans who stopped me and approached me talking about how much they love the podcast. And to me, the numbers all mean one thing, but when you see these people in person, I wasn't quite prepared for it. It's very exciting. In fact, two cool things happened. First thing is, and Adam, I know you're going to smart off about this. I flew to Florida. I didn't drive the semi. And when I was in the airport in Orlando, Florida, I got stopped by a guy. He said, "Man, I love the podcast." I said, "Really? Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Iowa. I watch every show. Bring Billy Beers back." I should have took a picture of the guy. So that was cool moment number one. But the second cool moment was Saturday at Ocala. It was not far before the pool started. A guy stopped me, a fan, and walking to the stands. He said, "Man, you guys are the greatest thing that's ever happened to pulling." So for those of you that don't know about the No Practice podcast being the greatest thing ever happened to pulling, this one guy somewhere does think so. So we love our fans. We're going to eventually get to a point and do some fun stuff as we get going this season. But the podcast is growing. If you don't know about it yet, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, like, share. Let's make this sport as big as we can while having fun doing it. So, guys, whenever you all have your next pull, you're going to know what I'm talking about the No Practice podcast fans. And we got to get some graphics on our vehicles. Tyler brought that to our attention. I mean, No Practice podcast mini rods.
We're still waiting for some other things that's supposed to be coming too, so it ain't no big deal.
Yeah, Chase is a man of many empty promises, but Chase, that's good to hear some good words from down there in Florida. I hope you didn't break your arm patting yourself too hard on the back there with all the good notes for the podcast.
No, absolutely not. And for those of you, pulling is a summertime dominant sport. Wintertime, as of late, the last few years, we have gone to Ocala, Florida, and pulled and gone to another event in Florida. And man, the growth is real, and it's happening there. When I say that, on Friday night, the stands are full. I believe they said it's a 5,500, 6,000 person venue. But Saturday night, the fire marshal from Ocala literally showed up to the event, shut the gates down, would not let them bring anybody else in, meaning they were over capacity. But when that happened, people started lining up their trucks, watching from the top of their trucks outside the gated facility. So when we talk about this sport growing and being a good place, I mean, if you haven't been to the pool in Ocala, Florida, add it to your list. The weather was great, first class event. It is different type of pulling. I mean, there's no debating that, but the quality of the show was top notch.
When you say it's different, is that because you were able to win the mini rod class, or?
It was different because you're not going 300 feet. Adam loves distances. At that pool, you actually know how far you're going.
Oh,
at least we had a good idea.
Man.
The dirt is different.
So let that be told. How long was the track there?
Adam's number one question: how long's the track?
Yeah. So I think it's like 275 feet. Will put you in the sand pile.
Okay, so that's further. That's further than Louisville, correct?
Oh,
it is. It's about 30 feet further. It is 30 feet, but the dirt in Florida, and again, for you people that are tuning in for the first time and our growing pulling fan community, different parts of the country, there's different types of dirt. The dirt in Florida is not typically anything we see anywhere else. It's a red sandy dirt, but the guys do a really good job of keeping moisture in it and putting it back together. I
figured it would have been rock.
Yeah, we'll save those subject for another day, Adam. I know how much you love complimenting all the bright things in this sport, but it is a unique surface, different sled we typically pull with. But the part that really blows my mind about this, though, get back to what I'm saying about this sport being in a good spot. So you have people getting turned away. There's 6,000 plus people in this arena for a pull that's a regional based pull. And then in Bradenton, Florida, you have, I believe it's called U.S. Street Nationals Pro Mod Racing event where, they get more coverage than Ocala Tractor Pull. I mean, that's not a secret, but you look at their live stream, there's like 10 times more people at Ocala Tractor Pull than there is U.S. Street Nationals. So
seriously,
what makes sense about, probably not 10. I'd say there's probably 7 to 8 times more people at that tractor pull than a well-known drag racing event. So you tell me this sport's not the best, is the most unknown, best kept secret in the world of motorsports. I mean, it's pretty organic whenever you can asses in the seat or asses in the seat. The other part that's crazy to me is that at that same venue in Florida, they have an event coming up, and I'm a drag racing fan, in March I think it's called World Series of Pro Mod, where it pays $100,000 to win. And again, there's 10 times more people at Ocala Tractor Pull than there are at that event in March in Bradenton. So I don't know how we do it, but something's not right about that math. 100,000 versus what the winnings paid in Ocala. But we're idiots enough to still keep going back. But
yeah,
something
I'm
needs
pretty
to be
sure.
changed.
I'm sure it covered that flight home.
It didn't pay for my bar tab though at the airport.
There you go.
Yeah, those add up quick.
Hey,
Adam,
that fan that stopped you, did CJ go with you to? Did he fly down?
He did, but he didn't fly me.
He didn't fly with you.
No,
you flew private.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I got private jet out there waiting outside the shop. I flew a helicopter down at him.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I figured so.
Yeah, but no, Ocala, Florida fans are great. We got more people at Ocala Tractor Pull than we do a premier drag racing event. So we just got to figure out how to do the math on the numbers. The math of the attendance is there in person. There's just got to be better math on the purse.
So do you think that has anything to do with maybe, this time of year, there's not a lot going on NBA, it's kind of mid-season. Then you got, like obviously NFL, championship weekend was last weekend. You got the Super Bowl coming up next weekend. Like, is it this time of year that are just asking for people, they're looking for something to do? Obviously people want to be entertained. I think that probably really helps them out, that down in Florida, the weather's good and they get to watch racing instead of maybe another sport.
My opinion is, I don't know how many true diehard pulling fans or NFL fans. I think they're casual, but I think we have our own crowd, our own audience that we can create, because this is an all-American sport. These are real people. I did flying a plane down there, but we're all pretty regular guys that, just happen to do this motorsport for fun. And, when you go to a tractor pull, you don't see a lot of nonsense that may offend some people at other sporting events. And I don't want to get in politics or any of that stuff on here, but
you got close.
It's the greatest motorsport in the world, in my opinion, because of the people in it and just the genuine reality of just regular people doing regular things. That's just my take, though.
Yeah, good. I'll just say it's good weather. You get some tractors that come down there that don't normally go. Like Hurt and you guys. Even like Mary Keel, and I mean, there's a lot of really good tractors that go to that pull. Some of them go for the weather. Some of them want to go just because they love pulling. It's probably looks to me like it's a more enthusiastic crowd than in more places.
For sure.
There's some cheering, getting stuff going on. Of course, when you have a sand pile at the end of the course, and they know they can't go further than that, that's why I think they really see they can judge the distance better, I guess.
I think we need to change your little name to Adam Distance Matters Kester.
That's right. Adam wants to know how far the track is.
Pulling distance. Well, guys, I'm sorry. I have to hit on this all the time just because simple thing. If I didn't watch the pool this weekend, I had some other stuff was going on. My grandmother died and we were doing some other stuff. I just didn't have time to watch. But that being said, it wasn't very hard to figure out.
Sorry about your grandmother too, by the way. Sorry about your grandmother.
Sorry to,
I won't get back for that.
I hate to bring it up, but we all know what happened there last year. Mini Rod flipped over, one of the most tragic accidents we've seen, or at least violent looking accidents we've seen there. And
it was pretty violent.
It's pretty violent. But this year, the only thing that really changed, the dirt's the same, the sled's the same. They let the damn track be a little bit longer. What do you know? Everybody made really good looking passes. So when you chain them down, a lot of wheel speed, they get out of control.
Later, right?
Sure.
Later in this show. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, just my point.
We got some other big news we got to get to though, Adam, and you can give me a tally for this because as we're growing, our audience is growing. New breaking news straight out of the No Practice Podcast headquarters. Our next episode 10, will be our first ever live in-person No Practice Podcast with you fans at a pulling event. You heard it here Friday, February 16th, right outside of Freedom Hall, 5 o'clock. The No Practice podcast will be live, us three on set. We will have free koozies, free giveaways. Tyler may or may not have an adult beverage challenge with a fan or two. There's only so much we can say prior to the event. But when we get there, we can probably do what we want, maybe. But mark your calendars. If you're in Louisville, come see us. It's obviously free to get into this part of the facility. Great place to come have a couple of adult beverages prior to the Friday night session at Freedom Hall. Adam, Tyler, what do you think about the first ever live in-person No Practice podcast with our fans?
I mean, it's going to be good. We're seeing people.
I'm sorry,
ahead,
Tyler.
Adam.
I just want to see Tyler down beers in front of people. That's all I want to see. I want to see him tally me up. I give him one too. But I just want to see you pound beers and challenge people to drink with the speed that you can chug a beer. That's all I gotta say. I want to see that.
Yes, we're going to challenge some random fans possibly if they can greater my consumption rate on a glass of cold beverage. Then perhaps they'll get some sort of prize for this. We're looking forward to seeing people. It was cool to see people on Facebook, tagging us that got the T-shirts. Jason was one of them. He said he posted a picture of himself wearing it with the Billy Beers T-shirt. He said he got as well. It's cool to see people engaged and loving it. But I won't praise us up too hard because I was giving Chase such a hard time for it. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
And more information to come in terms of that event. Again, it's going to be on Friday. Free giveaways, free koozies. Farm Show Week is coming up, probably arguably the biggest week in pulling all year. I know we want to get into some more content about that, but Friday, February 16th, 5 o'clock, No Practice podcast. Adam, take us into our next segment because I think it has to do with the Farm Machinery Show. There's a lot of people coming to town for that event, I hear.
There's a few that go by there. That great 245-foot track inside with all the suites and of people that show up every night and whatnot. But I think what we're going to talk about this particular segment, if you want to call it one, everybody knows how great the Farm Machinery Show is. Unfortunately for us mini rod pullers, we don't really get to participate in there. Chase with the two-wheeler has, which I just saw went up for sale. It's pretty crazy. Getting rid of that thing, huh? But
I didn't get invited. If I can't get invited, I'm done.
Yeah, he couldn't make it into the farm show, so he's out.
Right. So as spectators, all going in there, I've donated a few $1,000s to that establishment and beer and tickets and whatnot. Hell, Chase, your dad and friends have split a suite and whatnot. So
yeah, I don't know if people know this. I'm from Kentucky, so I'm not far from Louisville, and I know facts about the state of Kentucky that most people probably don't. But the Farm Machinery Show is the number 2 revenue week for the city of Louisville all year. Louisville, Kentucky is the biggest city in the state. The first revenue, the biggest revenue week of the year is something called the Kentucky Derby. You may or may not heard of it, but
yeah,
they've
got horsepower there as well, I hear.
Yeah, the second biggest week from a revenue standpoint is the National Farm Machinery Show. There's 300,000 people coming to town for the show total.
Jeez.
Which if you don't know, the show itself is free, to enter, but the tractor pull is obviously the main entertainment in conjunction with the show. And those that's a pretty big high dollar operation. And in fact, I don't know what the payouts are, but Tyler, did you come across an article of what the purse money is at that pulling event?
Yeah,
the Farm Machinery Show, the biggest revenue, second biggest revenue week in the state of Kentucky.
I kind of find that hard to believe almost that it's the second largest revenue generating, because it says that I found an article saying that there's over $300,000 in prize money. That's
over $300,000. That's a whole lot of money. Wow.
Yeah.
That'll pay for one pro stock. That'll pay for half of a pro stock.
Well, yeah, to buy it.
Yeah. So there's 300,000 total. You think that's all they're making at that event? Or you think that's got to be 75% of the money that's made there, right?
We can do some math. You want to do some math?
Oh, do some math.
So what?
I guess we could call this the weigh-in segment because we're going to weigh in on something here.
All right, we're weighing in.
We're going to weigh
Partial
in
math.
the amount of money gets shoveled into the state of Kentucky Fair Board.
Hang on a second. That $300,000. Did you have a proof of an article? Backstage director. Is there an article somewhere we can view to look at that, or is that not official content? Because we got to back this up now.
You didn't pull this off of You didn't pull this off of WikiLeaks or anything, did you? No WikiLeaks.
You can't throw shit against the wall and hope it sticks. Let's prove this first. This $300,000.
Since we have to give credit to an article, since everything you find on the internet is absolutely true. So this has to be true.
Yeah, it was on FCMA.com. To directly quote the article, nearly 200 drivers will compete over several days before an audience of 80,000 attendees for the chance to bring home a share of over $300,000 in prize money. So it's on the internet. It's on the internet. It's got to be.
For you fans that are viewing live, we have an article there, $300,000. For you listening to our podcast, take Tyler's word for it. There is an actual article that we're going off here. So
let's run the numbers. We've got,
let's run some numbers.
What? Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, right?
5 sessions. There's 2 on Saturday. Okay. And I think a good way to break this up, and fans, we want your all's interaction on this because we don't know exact numbers, but we know we have enough fans that can maybe answer some of this stuff. So as we ask questions, please chime in to correct us, because we're going to be really conservative on this math. So I would say Wednesday and Thursday crowds are kind of in the category of their own because it's not as big as the last 3. So
what do you think?
Let's start with tickets. Let's start with tickets.
Yeah. What do you think they cost?
So
average. You got your lower bowl, you got your upper bowl. They're not getting sold out.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably say $20 because I'm pretty sure a lower arena ticket costs $40. Again, please tell us, fans, if we're off our numbers. So if they're $40, we'll call it half.
$40.
Yeah, we'll call it half.
So and lower sold out.
Lower
so
sold
we're going
out.
$20.
We'll say
$20. Capacity is 8.
For a Wednesday or Thursday, I would say
9,000 people.
Let's call it 12,000. No, let's call it 10,000. Call it 10,000. 10,000.
Well, that's
10,000 for Wednesday and Thursday. What's the math on that?
$20 a ticket. You're timesing that by 10,000. That's. Hang on, let me run the numbers. That might not be right.
Guys, you're talking about ones and twos and zeros.
Guys, that's dollars.
This is an exercise. This is an exercise.
Okay, yeah. This is to prove how stupid we are. So you've got $200,000 on Wednesday night, $200,000 on Thursday night. So you're bringing that total to $400,000. Somebody write that down.
Just conservative numbers. $400K. Backstage operator, keep a tally for us. So we're at
$400,000. Give us a load of money.
Now you've got Friday. What do you think capacity is for Friday?
Well, I know they've sold out Friday and the 2 Saturdays last year in capacity. I'm told it's 18,000. So we got to say 18,000, right?
Do you want to go 18? Yeah.
I say 18.
We still going to
get some comments now. Hang on. We're being very conservative. Some of our fans are saying 6 sets cost $1,000.
$45 for Saturday night.
We're going to do the farm show a favor. We're going to do them a favor with these numbers. So let's just say 18,000 Friday night, Saturday at noon, Saturday night. So 18,000 times 3. What's that, Tyler?
Well, you've got 18,000, and then we'll times it by the ticket
18,000
cost.
times 3. Okay, mathematician.
Okay, so 18,000.
18,000 times 20. Let's do 20. Yeah, let's stick with 20.
Times 20. Now we'll guys, that's 360,000. Now we're going to times that by 3 sessions.
Times 3.
Friday, Saturday afternoon, then Saturday night. Times that by 3. Go. That's $1,080,000.
$1 million. How much?
$1,080,000. So we're going to add that to the 400,000 of the other Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. So let's call it. We'll just call it 1.4 million. 1.4 million, just to be fair.
Well,
just for
technically 1.48.
Okay, 1.48. Sorry, sir. 1.48.
Yeah,
1.48 million.
We can't ignore numbers 2 places past the decimal. Come on.
But again, these guys are dropping 300,000 for the purse money now. So there's something else we're missing here.
Yeah,
So
but they
1.48 million on ticket sales.
But they got to rent the facility.
No,
What do you
let's
think?
not. Oh, let's get.
Freedom Hall.
Let's get back to the facility. So the other thing is, can you bring your own beer to this pool, or you gotta buy it there?
No, you gotta buy it.
You gotta buy it. Sure. Okay. And we all know the pulling fans like their adult beverages. So this will be a fun little exercise. This will be a fun exercise.
Fans didn't let us forget. We can see the fans saying beer sales, all caps. Just add the beer sales.
Beer sales. Okay, so how many people? So we got our math. We got 10,000 on Wednesday, Thursday. Call 18,000 at 3 Friday, and the 2 Saturday. What percentage of people in there drink a beer?
Oh.
On Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday is like a go slow night. 2?
Speak for yourself.
So no. How many? What percentage of people? I would say 25% of people are drinking beer in there.
Minimum.
I would give
so low.
Little bit more than that.
Yeah. On Wednesday and Thursday though. On Wednesday and Thursday, 25%. Yeah. So what's 25% of 25% of 10,000? Again, this is a math exercise for all you pulling fans.
2,500. 2,500.
No. 2,500.
25% of 10,000? Yeah, come on, Chase. Jesus.
Yeah, sorry.
Jesus, boys.
No wonder I can't. No wonder I run the wrong gears all the time.
Yeah.
So 2,500 people are drinking 2 beers. Let's say 2 beers.
So that's 5,000 beers,
right?
Yeah. How much are they? $10 a piece?
It only costs $2 for a beer, right?
No, I think the beers are more than that. I think they're close to 10. Adam, beer price. Come on.
5.
Chase, are they 5?
They're 10. Fans, does any fan know how much a beer costs?
No, they're not. They're $8. They're $8. I think 2 beers last year was $16.
$8. So based on 10,000 people and 25% of the people in the stands are going to be drinking, each fan's going to drink 2 beers apiece, and the price per beer, not including tip, is going to be $8 apiece. That means each night there's $40,000 in beer sales, and that is just on Wednesday night. So then we're going to times that by 2 for Wednesday and Thursday. That's 80,000. So 40,000 per session, and you've got 5 sessions, right?
No, Tyler, hang on. People get turned up now. On Friday and Saturday, that number goes from 25% of people to 50% of people, and there's probably actually more than that. But let's just call it 50% of people in there.
Yeah.
For Friday.
I mean, personally, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm doing at least 10 beers every session of the farm show.
So for all you outliers out there, Tyler and probably myself make up for it. With our heavy beer consumption. But let's just call it 2 beers apiece.
Guys, I'm into pulling, and at the farm show, I'm pulling my own weight when it comes to drinking beer. All right.
Yeah. Okay, what is that? Sweet? Is it sweet R or is it sweet S?
No. Yeah, we're
getting ahead of ourselves. We got to get back to the 1,000 Wednesday, 40,000 Thursday. That's another 80,000 to our total pot of 1.48, bringing our total to 1.56. Correct?
Yep, and we got to get through Wednesday. We got to get through Friday and Saturday. So Friday, we're calling half the crowd, so 9,000. 9,000 people are drinking.
You still going with
2 beers.
9,000 people drinking 2 beers apiece.
Not everybody has a problem like you. Everybody has a problem like you and me.
Yeah, speak for yourself. You're hoisting that beer up there, mister. I see you.
Yeah.
So you've got 18,000 beers times that by 8. That's 144,000. Add that to that. And then, so you want to just round, and do you want to just say 300,000 beers or $300,000 in beers between Friday and Saturday? So that's 1.86, I think.
So we're at $1.86 million.
But they got to rent the venue though.
Who owns it?
I don't know.
Well, I actually think, folks, the Freedom Hall is owned by Kentucky, isn't it? Kentucky.
The owners of the show. Adam, do you pay rent to live in your own house? In the house you own?
I don't believe that.
What year was that place built? It was like 1958, 1963. If they haven't paid off the mortgage on that place, they're dumb.
Okay, so I'm going to say they probably don't pay rent, but they also have workers. There's overhead. I mean, I get it. This is the best pool in the world. They got the best people running it. I'm not discrediting that.
I looked it up. The Kentucky State Fair Board does own Freedom Hall, which good for them, I guess. So.
Yeah, so they got to pay their employees. They got to pay the light bill. They got to pay the janitors and the people that clean the restrooms, all that stuff.
How about the people that come in for parking?
Yeah, we won't even get to that. So
parking's free.
I do know they have sponsorship.
No,
they have a title sponsor for this. I'd say it's $12 for parking.
Come on.
So they have a title sponsor for this event. I'm sure they probably get enough to pay for their employees and for all the overhead in terms of just the manpower. And they also have concessions. We didn't even talk about what a cheeseburger costs. We'll just act like everything else is a wash, because that's probably, I'd say they're not hurting on any of that. So on ticket sales and beer sales alone, everything else is a wash and paid for. We're at 1.9 million. Is that right? Or 1.8 million?
Yeah, something like that. It's been too long.
In the pullers, and for those of you tuning in and trying to understand our sport and understand how awesome it is from a fan standpoint, but we're kind of looking at this through competitors. It don't take a mathematician to figure out that $1.8 million and $300,000 don't really go well together. I'm not saying that it needs to be a heads up split, but could you imagine if they would just double that number to 600,000? What that would do for pulling and competitors? What's your all's thoughts on that?
Honestly,
my opinion on the whole thing is, I think that with prize money, I'm not saying that they have to, like you said, go in halves, but they gotta, keep something in mind there for the puller. I think that's across the board in any venue that puts on a pull. I think, they could easily get more money into that event to the pullers easily.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, they need to make money. They need to do what they need to do. But something about that math just does not add up to me, especially when you consider where the sport is in terms of the technology and the equipment. And it's not like we're hurting for people watching it. I mean, again.
Well, they did buff the floors last year. I did see that.
Oh, I bet that costs a good $500,000.
In that poll's defense, how many people do you think they turned away, including Chase, to not compete? Hundreds.
It's the most prestigious poll in the world.
Hundreds. So, I mean, from their standpoint, why change? They've got a lineup of people out the door that they're saying can't compete, Chase included.
And until someone, kudos Mike Connie with his event, the Mac Winter Nationals. That's a guy who pours every dollar he has back into it, back for nonprofit charity and pullers purse money. And pullers, that's the richest person that in motors in truck and tractor pulling by a long way. So again, we love the Farm Machinery Show. We may not be asked to. They may revoke our invitation to do the No Practice podcast there after we did some math on here. But
I guarantee you, if they're not drinking beer. I guarantee if they're not drinking beer, they're eating that damn ice cream, because I see that damn that place is lined up. No matter what time you look out there, ice cream constantly.
Man, if you think I'm putting away beers at the farm show, I'm really putting away ice cream.
Well, folks, a little tip: just go eat you some ice cream before you start drinking. You get to pound a lot more beers. Just saying.
And for you fans that don't know, as you think about this math, yes, tractor pullers are some of the smartest people in the world, but they're also probably not they're probably some of the dumbest in the world, because they continue to do this and they continue to show up and spend the money despite the people putting the events on giving back to them. That's just the truth. But you know what? Maybe one day all this will change, and hopefully they don't revoke our invitation for the No Practice podcast. And also, our math can be questioned. So this is a podcast. It's freedom of speech, right?
That was 20 minutes of Chase trying to add shit up is what that was.
Well, all this really is Chase trying to.
Could you imagine me trying to set?
You couldn't come.
Could you imagine me trying to set up a mini rod? How long it takes me when you talk about gears and air pressure?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway,
moving on.
The farm show.
Pullers
purse 33%.
You guys had mentioned a wreck at Florida last year, correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
That is very correct.
And we do a little segment.
It's the reason why so many rules have been made, because of And it's not their fault. I mean, I think we were getting picked on a little bit anyways before this, but I mean, it didn't help matters out anymore. Probably one of the more viral mini rod crashes. I don't know. The Fat Assassin was a pretty good one. But the no doubt about it, this one here that we're going to be showing is our viral clip last year at this same event of Mary Kale.
We got to do our intro. Give me a tally for this. Give me a tally. We have a professional intro. Man, I wish there was practice.
Man, I wish there was practice.
Man, I wish there was practice.
Mark it up, Tyler.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
He can't help
I'm back
himself.
to almost three. I'm back to three of them. Backstage audio. Where's
the No Practice Podcast? Man, I wish there was a practice segment.
Oh my God!
All right. Cue
The only thing
video.
that can make Chase be quiet is when OJ mutes the mic.
That's right. And we're going to take a look at a video from Ocala, Florida in early 2023 of a mini rod wrecking in Ocala, Florida. And that mini rod belongs to none other than Mary and Mike Keel. Backstage, the video, please. The wreckage.
No, the video. Backstage. The video.
Guys, this is moving. All right, here we go. So we've got the green light. We've got the green flag. And she is off to the races here. We're taking a look at those butterflies. She's easing into the throttle. The sled is moving pretty good. Boom! We are wide open. Tractor shifting left to right. And that thing comes unhooked. It flips completely upside down. And just at the end, it comes back to its wheels. People are running everywhere. And we know she's okay now, or we wouldn't even be playing this. We see Jim Schindorf shuffling out onto the track. We're going to see that again in slow motion. Flag guy gives the green flag, green light. She's easing into the throttle. All right. Now, this is a mini rod. They get vicious. So as we watch those throttle blades flip open, the front end hikes up and it gets violent and starts shifting side to side. And in an instant, the front wheels are busted. The front end digs in. The tractor flips. It rolls. The roll cage does its job. The safety equipment pulled through. The tractor slowly rolls back over and lands on its wheels, and the motor shuts off. That was honestly probably one of the most vicious wrecks in the sport of pulling in 2023. Debatably, maybe Ty Miller at Bowling Green as well. And
whenever they take a nosedive, that's a different type of rollover.
I think we got to call up the person that was driving here.
Let's see what she's got to say.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Right on the roll cage.
I was there. I was right next to it.
Boom! Hit right on the top of the roll cage.
Is this Mike?
Yes, it is. Mary's right here. We're both here.
All right. Well, we've got you live here on the No Practice Podcast. We are breaking down that vicious rollover last year from Ocala. Walk us through what went on there and what your guys' thoughts were when that happened.
Well, I could tell you exactly. I didn't know at the time what happened.
I can tell. Like, that was vicious. It happened pretty quick.
It did. So I took off, and when the front wheels come off the ground, I always have a habit of looking to make sure the wheels are straight. So as soon as the front end picked up, I looked at the right front. And the right front was not only turned, but it was tipped.
Oh.
And it happened so fast, you don't see that the spindle is already broken. The wheel is bobbing back and forth. The wheel is turned right there. It dug in. There you go. Bang.
Yeah. It dug in. For sure.
So when it picked up, the spindle had let loose at that point. We think it was just the last of it gave out just as we pulled onto the track.
Yeah.
So when the thought went through my mind after I looked at the wheels, the thought went through my mind, straighten the wheel. Well,
Yeah.
At first I thought that looks odd, straighten the wheel. By the time I finished thinking straighten the wheel, I was already upside down.
Yeah. It happened quick. I mean, I've wrecked my fair share of mini rods, but I mean, that went from A-OK to not quite right in a matter of no time.
That was within 75 feet, wasn't it?
Down and I could feel the thing twisting. So I know I'm going back to the wheels. I'm just waiting for it to happen. It seemed like forever.
Yeah.
And then when I pulled the hat out of the dirt, now it's still running. My kill switch failed.
Yeah.
Which now I have the new kill switch designed by you and your dad, which works great.
Yeah, I got to give Bruce the credit for that one.
Yeah, that is Bruce's kill switch.
Shout out for Bruce Law kill switches. They work great.
Absolutely. So anyways, when it pulled the hat out of the dirt, then I heard it was still running. I'm like, holy crap. So then I'm searching for the kill switch. But luckily it was already broken in half, so I didn't go shooting off anywhere. You know, my bolts were tight, the equipment worked, and we hurried up and made some calls because we were already in the voting for the Pullers Championship.
Yeah, and you guys made it.
Well, it was nerve-wracking, I could tell you that. I mean, we went to Brad at Modern Machine and asked him, you know, can you do this? And he says, I got no promises, but I'm going to do the best I can. And he ended up doing it. We got the motor from Brian Knox, and Brian got the motor together, and we actually had to make a trip to get the motor. Then we had to make a trip to get the new chassis because we couldn't wait to get it all at the same. For us, it was a long drive anyway.
Yeah, there was a lot of thrashing.
There was.
Well, yeah, that's what you guys get for living in like New York, right?
Yeah, right. Tell me about it. You've all been stupid before, man. I know that people who build mini rods.
Yeah, living in New York is possibly a worse choice over wrecking your mini rod for sure.
Well, the new mini rod worked very well with the Interleague Championship last year, and
there was an old brake. It looked like in the bolt that holds the spindle on. You can see there was probably less than 10% that actually broke off. And
yeah, it was just hanging on by a thread for sure. Chase was saying the new chassis really worked well though at the Enderley, right?
Yeah.
You know, and honest to God, guys, we had after that wreck, we couldn't do no wrong last year. Right, but yeah, the new chassis is awesome.
Well, good deal. Hey, thanks for coming on. Sorry to cut you short, but Chase is long-winded as always, so we got to keep this show moving.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks.
Not talking.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you hopefully at the Pullers Championship, and God bless and no future wrecks. All right, keep that thing shiny side up. Hey, thank you. Bye. And how about
good people right there, man?
really good.
They've always been
really good.
fairly new to the class, very very friendly and kind, and I mean,
a female driver. I mean, we have some top-notch female mini rod drivers in our class, and I don't know about you all. If I'd have rolled that thing over that way, you may not see me in a mini rod again. Just to be honest.
Come on. I've seen you with your head in your own lap in a mini rod, but yeah, for sure we do have some great female talent, Chase, in the mini rod class. You're absolutely right. So, on that note, is it time to bring in our guests?
Yeah,
better bring them in.
You know what? How rude of us. We got talking about.
We've been running our mouths for 45 minutes.
We were talking about our fans. We were talking about the farm show, our show being there, them not paying Pullers a very good percentage. We didn't even talk about our guests. How rude of us. So for pulling fans, back to the farm show topic, we have a unique set of guests for this show. The biggest show for the farm show during the week is the Duel of the Fuels, the super stock class, diesel versus alcohol. Only time you see it all year. And I'm proud to bring on a representative of both sides of the fence, Mr. Travis Schlabach, the Bone Twister diesel super stock, and Mr. Jeff Hothem, fully loaded alcohol super stock, for some diesel versus alcohol content. I'm so sorry I didn't introduce these guys earlier, but we're going to make up for it right now. Jeff, Travis, welcome to the biggest podcast in pulling thousands of fans across the world. Thanks for joining us, man. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Thanks, guys, for having us on board. Appreciate it.
Jeff, I see you're there in your shop working on your tractor. Do you always close the curtains when it's time to get stuff done in the vehicle?
Listen, a secret's a secret. You have to be that way.
Pulling, there are lots of secrets.
So I'm going to formally introduce you guys as I know you. Again, there's some requirements that we make all of our guests agree to prior to coming on the show. One of them is having 6 drinks consumed prior to coming on. I think both of these guys are well on their way, just going off my communication with them. But they seem a little tight right now, so I'm just going to try to set the vibe. So Travis Schlabach, diesel super stock puller. If you don't know the Schlabachs as a competitor, you know, he's multiple Grand National champions, 2 of the last 3, if I'm not mistaken. But he also is known to me, Chase Richardson, the puller and huge friend of his, is the probably one of the biggest partiers in the sport, meaning that anytime you're stumbling through the pits past midnight, you're guaranteed to find a cold beer and some music over at the Schlabach trailer. So Bone Twister, you can loosen up a little bit. It's glad to have you on. And you don't have to say, like, I know you have no sponsor, so just, you can be yourself, I don't know if you're a drinker or not, but just welcome to the show.
Yeah, Chase, you ain't got to worry about that. I don't have many sponsors, but you can thank Allison for the cooler that never runs dry, the music that never shuts off, and the trailer lights that stay on all night. I remember Bowling Green years ago, one of the blue shirts stopped by the first few years we were there and said, "Hey, we just wanted to let you know your lights were on all night." I'm like, "Yeah, I figured that."
Yeah. Well, again, we know you. We don't know you as competitors. We know you as the friends that we can go find a beer late at night. But then there's Jeff Hothem. Ironically enough, these guys probably hate each other's guts, diesel versus alcohol. But Jeff sometimes runs a different circuit. But any time that you like to sing, meaning a karaoke type setting, he has a trailer that's multi-dimensional / diverse. He has a pulling tractor in there that gets unloaded, and then prior to the pulling event, it turns into like you're in Broadway or a Nashville karaoke bar with Jeff himself doing the karaoke emceeing. Jeff, thank you for coming to No Practice Podcast. Will we be doing any karaoke? How do you say that? Karaoke tonight.
Will we be singing any karaoke this evening?
We're doing karaoke tonight.
Not tonight. Not tonight. However, we do have some things up our sleeves for 2024 for karaoke, so stay tuned for that. But no, thanks for having me on board here tonight on the Full Pull Production Podcast. That's awesome. I'm glad to be here.
We're all right. So the joke's old now. You're not in your shop. What are you doing? Where are you? Did you not have Wi-Fi at home? Did you go get a hotel room?
Yeah, I got a hotel room. I'm currently working in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. Well, thanks for making special accommodations. And guys, feel free to decline any question that gets asked. We have something called the Adam button, where if you don't like the question asked, just hit the Adam button and we'll pass it on. But we've yet to have anybody hit that button, just so you know you have that right. So, Tyler, why don't you lead us off with these two fine diesel and alcohol men?
Yeah, gentlemen. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run a segment of rapid fire questions. These are just quick one-word answers. But tonight, a special little twist on that. The rapid fire questions are very Duel of the Fuels related. So Travis, we'll start off with you. You can answer the first question. Jeff, if you're going to answer the second question. And then Jeff, next, you can answer us and we'll flip back and forth. So once again, Duel of the Fuels related. Who is more likely to domesticate a baby raccoon, Cody Cheese or Brad Campbell?
Cody Cheesing.
Okay. Jeff, what do you think? Come on, guys. Rapid fire.
I'm going Cody, too. Cody.
Who is most likely to accidentally back through the garage door? Ken Payne or John Strickland?
Oh, Jeff Payne for sure.
I'm going John Strickland on that one. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. Full-blown cage fight, UFC style. Who's winning? Jeff Hurt versus Brandon Hunt.
Nobody beat Jeff Hurt.
Wow, I'd go with Hurt.
Yeah,
bite your kneecaps.
So.
Yeah, right, I agree with you.
Who had a better shot of getting a 4.0 GPA in high school, Steve Burge or Neil Gettinger?
Neil.
I'll go with Neil.
Okay. You guys are getting paid. You guys are getting paid $50,000 each day you spend in a maximum security prison. Who's going to last more days, Travis or Jeff? That's right. This is about you two. Travis,
I work in
saying
every once in a while. They're not that bad. They get 3 squares a day.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jeff, what do you
I'm
think?
going to go with Travis.
Okay, fair enough. If they were both still single, who's pulling more ladies at the bar in a given evening, Colin Ross or Josh Blackburn?
Blackburn.
Josh Blackburn.
Oh, wow. Quick one. All right. All of the diesel guys versus all of the alcohol guys that are in at the farm show in a game of laser tag. Which team is going to reign the champions, diesel or alcohol?
Oh, diesel guys got us. We'll smoke them.
Jeff,
No, I don't think so. No. It's definitely the alcohol guys. Definitely.
All right, well,
hands down, it's the alcohol guys.
Finally, you can't agree on something. All right, one last question, very important. Jeff, you have to answer this first. How do you say Travis's last name?
Schlabach.
Travis, confirm.
Schlabach.
Oh.
No K on the end of it.
Oh. Take the gloves off there, Travis. Take them off.
You know what's interesting how that deal? So my dad, some of my family lives down in Florida, and their name is Schlabach when you go to Florida. So when I go to Florida, it's Travis Schlabach, and when you're in Iowa, it's Travis Schlabach.
Yep. We're not just generic white people that have last names like Richardson. I mean, Tyler Slaw's name.
Oh yeah, my last
we got a podcast with his last name on it. We can't even spell his last name right.
Yeah, fun fact.
We can't do math either. If y'all didn't notice earlier,
my last name has been spelled wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all was struggling.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't say a word during all this. That was all them.
The bottom line number was correct though, wasn't it? That wasn't confusing, was it?
Maybe.
You gotta remember, he's from Kentucky, and you can't hide it. All right, boys. Yep. So coming into Louisville, I'm hot on this topic for a reason. Obviously we've been dealing with it for the past few years. Length of track, going to Louisville, and in this particular setting, we're going to be running about 240, 245 if you put it in the sand. Pretty good, right?
Right.
As a diesel and alcohol competitor, diesels are just a big steam engine, and it's building a lot of heat. Heat causes failure. Do you feel that run inside at 245 feet is just as exciting, with the atmosphere that it is, just as a 300-foot pass is outside? We know that it's a less amount of time probably to make the run, I think. So the engine should theoretically not build as much heat. But what do you guys think of the length of the track, like the debate there, like between that and like outside? Do you like it, not like it?
So in the end of the big picture, Adam, I think the heat to the motor, the power, the endurance of the motor is very similar to outside, because you got Vaughn, the sled, that he's getting on you quicker. We're dragging that load a little bit further. He's letting us load. I mean, we all know Vaughn, and I respect the hell out of him. He is building a sled to slow us down as we build more horsepower.
Sure.
And he is changing that constantly. So to run into Louisville is Louisville. It's, a lot of my people back here around Marengo, Iowa, they're like, oh, you got a tractor pull? Where are you going? Louisville, Kentucky. What is that? Well, the best way I can refer to Louisville, Kentucky is it's the Super Bowl of tractor pulling. We've taken all organizations, we put them together, and we're going to pull against to see who's the best of the best in the United States of America. And, Louisville is itself. When you stand on the track and, the songs come on, the introduction, the fans, you are in a Super Bowl area. Once the sled goes in, the hook goes into that chain, and then your focus goes on that. It is quick, though. I will tell you, I don't know if I pulled 5, 6, 7, 8 years down there. I don't even know how many. I don't keep track. I got to tell Scott Doty, I'm going to do my best to watch him this year. I hope, because then that means I got far enough to find him. But,
right.
They put that green, red light up. I tell you what, I'll be honest with you. I've never seen it going down the track. You got to do your best, because that sand pile is coming. And
apparently you don't see much. Apparently you don't see much, Travis. I saw a picture of you yesterday with a chalk line all on your tire. Do you see white lines too?
Oh, no. That,
well, I guess that's
thing and all that. there's too many rules there, and I struggle with this rule thing, but it is impressive to run. It's fun to run. The audience, the crowd.
It's got to be more exciting probably than any other pull, just for the simple fact is you don't have time to think about it. But I guess my point is, from the outside, I mean, whether people want to see tractors hit that sand pile, we don't get that excitement outside. More or less, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I'm not saying we need to put stuff at the end of the track that tractors hit, but at least we know that's the end of the course. And if you can bury it in there, you look like a hero. And if not, I was just curious if the length of the track actually helped the engine out, not build as much heat. Because I agree with you 100%. Vaughn's pushed it. Hey, we can run 330 just as fast as we run 300 feet. I totally get that. You could probably run 350. And it's starting to get close to how long it takes. You start getting on some of these other passes, then it starts going the other way, though. So time, yeah, whatever. But I was just curious.
What are your thoughts on Adam's question?
Well, I agree with Travis. I tell you, the sand pile comes quick when we run right. But as far as length and time on the motor itself, it's not. I don't think it's anything super exciting or super different. Same amount of heat, maybe a little bit less, but it's still, we're talking a difference of roughly 15 to 30 foot difference. I don't think it's anything super great, super different, but I do know at Louisville, you got to get on it. You got to get on it quick, because that sled's going to get you real quick.
Stream dirt, really good.
It's got to. I mean, it's got to, because it's a short track, and it's not going to let you go. And if you don't get it moving and get it going, you're going to have a short distance.
I had a really respectable puller tell me one time about Louisville not long ago is gear ratios, tire pressure, that stuff matters, but it's not as important here. You can do whatever you want to do. If you don't have a good takeoff, it don't matter. So I think that pretty well goes across the board at all classes. The takeoff, the first 100 foot, throw whatever you want at it. You just got to get moving. So it's a good analogy. And thanks to you two for spelling things out to us and then our fans that are learning this stuff for the first time. So as part of an educational piece, this show's obviously geared a lot around the farm show coming up. And, the duel of fuels is one of the coolest topics to talk about for any pulling fan. We both kind of take us through your timeline. We're a week and a half out, call it, or 10 days out from when you all pull Friday night at Louisville. Start with you, Jeff, kind of where your vehicle is now and kind of your schedule of events to Friday to hooking this sled and hopefully getting the top 6 to make it to a Saturday night final starting today. And then, Travis, you can go after him.
Well, the easy answer to that question is the wrap of the tractor, which means a whole lot, which doesn't really mean a whole lot of anything. But anyway, it means it's done. It's ready to be picked up. The bad news is we tore it apart last weekend and we found we had some turbo problems. So those are currently out at Hart's Turbos out there in Missouri. They're working diligently to get those things done and getting them back to us. One of the fins broke off the top turbo and went through the bottom charger unknowingly to us. So they are working diligently to get those back. Blackburn's did an awesome job on getting us the new cross-section turbo containment exhaust wheel, however you want to call the new safety device, into the exhaust stack. They did that, taken care of. Those are arriving to the shop tomorrow. I believe Hart's will have the turbos done Friday, and they will ship out to us either Friday or Monday. So we should be in good shape, but we had some unexpected issues. But we got it taken care of, I hope, based on the freight coming back to us, and we should be good to go.
This is real world drama, Jeff. Like, this is breaking news, the No Practice Podcast. Jeff Hothem accidentally found that he had a problem because Jeff, for those of you who don't know, he's a very prepared guy. I myself cannot say I'm an always prepared guy. I try to be, but like you, of all people, would have been looking at this months back, but you just happened to notice this as you took your sheet metal off. Is that right?
Well, we had, the tractor's been at the wrap shop, and we've changed. It's not their fault. We've changed designs numerous times, and it's not their fault. So they have taken some time to get the thing done, and by us delaying the process of decision making. So we finally got the tractor back to the shop last weekend and found these issues. Otherwise, it'd have been done. I'm not. You're right. I'm not a last minute guy. It drives me nuts to be pushed to the last minute. I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. It just is not the way it ought to be. However, this is what we got. This is what we're dealing with, and this is where we're going to go, and we're going to be ready.
Travis,
so
I don't know
if there's a chance that you can't have your tractor back, and I think it sounds like it's going to be. If you can't make it, do you get to choose who replaces you?
That I don't know. That's up to the tractor pull committee, but we won't have any problems with that. We'll be there.
Okay. But if worse comes to worse, Jeff, I think we could maybe do something. If your tractor's not done, we have mini rods. We can send to Louisville. You can drive it and then just enter it in the super stock class. So you have a plan B. There's always a plan B in life. So you always have.
That sounds great. So I'll be driving a vibrator, is what you're saying.
You'll definitely make weight.
Yeah.
So,
Jeff, you'd love it. You'd love it, Jeff. Travis, please tell us you are more prepared than Jeff. He says he's not last minute, but he's all sorts of last minute. Where are you sitting at?
So
I'm sitting here just thinking, man, that guy is an overachiever.
Uh-oh.
I have a.
Tell me more.
I have a frame sitting on jack stands.
Oh.
No rear tires. On. I do have the tires back, so we're good to go there. They're in the shop. A good buddy Jerry went and picked them up from the tire cutter last weekend. Motors in it, turbo piping on it, everything that we're changing a little bit on our water injection system this year. Just actually waiting on an oil pan, because as you guys probably seen in some of our pictures, that the last time we run it, we swelled that up like the fat kid in dodgeball. And so I unfortunately figured out yesterday afternoon that I have our oil pans. I cut them out on my plasma table, take them over to my guy to get welded. And Steve Burge has a design that I make for him, and I inadvertently took Steve's design over to my guy, and he's got the oil pan all welded up, ready to put some bungs in. And then I informed him yesterday that I'll be back tomorrow morning with a new pan that you can start all over again. And so yesterday afternoon, I walked in the shop and told Healy, we're done. I'm not going to Louisville. Threw the towel in. Forget it. Well, that was no option. That lasted about 1.2 seconds. And now we have the oil pan back getting made. Got to put the drive system on it, finish the hoods. We're a long ways from being done. Hopefully start it this weekend. I'm sure Allison will put it on Facebook. We do, but maybe Saturday, Sunday, we'll get it started. But the good thing for me is you guys will know me. Some days I lose track of time, not real smart. But last Saturday, I thought that we had to load up tonight, Wednesday, at Louisville. Sunday, it come to light that I had a whole nother week.
Oh, you found a week. Well done.
You realize we have another week? And he said, yes, I know we have another week, and we need all week. So I'm the guy that, I like to run by the seat of my pants. If you get to know me well enough, you'll know that some days I run last minute, and we'll just run by the seat of my pants. But parts-wise, I think we got everything. We're going to be good to go. We'll piece some stuff together and make it work and kind of go from there.
Travis, it's 2024. Have you got a speeding ticket yet this year?
Oh, yeah. No. I did run into a fire hydrant last week, though.
I've heard that fire hydrants run out in front of you, so I can understand that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was in a car with this man, and we were driving down the road, coming back from Bowers or somewhere as a group of people. We passed the cop. He was driving. We passed the cop and got pulled over. And I says,
he was driving slow. I had places to go.
Travis, how did that go for you? How did that go for you?
How many tickets did you get last year?
Yep, that was ticket. Ticket.
What were the numbers?
What I have to do what I have to do is I have to keep all my speeding tickets above my sun visor because you can only get so many per year. And then that's like my reminder of where I'm at in the speed limit laws.
There you go.
So, and
this is the same guy that thought that farm show started this week. Fans, keep in mind.
Yeah,
you're right.
So I know I'm in trouble when the cop walks up and he's like, "Sir, do you know why I stopped you?" I mean, I always want to say, like, if I guess right, do we get to go away free? I mean, you know why you stopped me.
That's what it should be.
Back and he said, "Well, sure, I stopped you for speeding." Yeah, I know that. I do that a lot. He said, I know you do too, because I looked at your record. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's just move on.
No tickets this year yet, though.
No. Knock on wood. Adam, I get one tomorrow.
I'm sorry, it's my fault. I'll tell you what.
Adam doesn't pay.
If you get one tomorrow, I'll pay for it.
There you go.
No, I'm just joking.
So the few things we've learned, what I love about these podcasts is that you ask one question and you learn so much more. So for the people that we're here to grow the sport, that this is the greatest motorsport in the world, Super Stocks is one of the best classes. Two of the best Super Stock pullers are less than 2 weeks out, or right at 2 weeks out, and they don't know if they're going to make it or not. That's the first thing. One guy thinks the pull's next week, and then the same guy also runs over fire hydrants and passes cops. So greatest motorsport in the world. I think that's good. The next question, Tyler.
What's this?
Thank you for that content.
Did you guys read this? What Doug Borst said? Speaking of fire hydrants, Jeff Hurt hit one.
Jeff Hurt smoked the fire hydrant on Ocala Tuesday morning when we left. So apparently,
fire
hydrants.
What'd you do, Travis? I didn't mean to cut you off. What'd you do to the fire hydrant? Did you mess anything up?
Going to check on a job. There was snow everywhere. Turning in a dead end street. Looking at this car in my bumper, and Healy's like, "Well, don't you have a rear view camera?" I said, "I'm not looking. I ain't got time to look at a camera." Bang! Hey, and by the way, I was on the telephone when I did it too.
Oh, you were multitasking.
What you got, like 16 inches of snow there a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
or what?
24 inches of snow, dead end street, big pile. I mean, I got all the excuses in the world. All I know at the end cost me $2,800.
Hothem, do diesel super stock pullers have these same problems, or do alcohol super stock pullers have these same problems? Y'all are pretty normal people, right?
Listen, I don't know about normal. All right, there is no such thing as a normal tractor puller. Y'all know this. All right, but I can't tell you the last time I hit a fire hydrant. Now, fence post. Now that's a different story, but not a fire hydrant.
Well, I'm glad to hear you've never hit any fire hydrants.
No, I have not.
Do you mind to indulge the fence post story while we're? I mean, you guys are out here trying to get sponsors. I think there might be a fence company interested in you and a fire and plumbing company interested in Travis at this point.
Yeah, tell us about your fence post, Jeff.
The fence post. Well, I was backing down out of a driveway at a friend's party, and I was looking in my backup camera, and I was watching diligently. And somehow that son of a gun just snuck right up on me, and bam, there it was. I put a dent in the bumper, cracked the taillight, and broke the fence post.
It's not like a fence post in the ass of a truck.
Yeah. I guess if we're talking about backing into things, a nice pulling-related backing into things story for myself. I got to call myself out. You guys are familiar with Dennis Borson. He used to pull a pro stock. He lives right up the road from us, and I went to his house for a 4th of July party. And my dad was generous enough to let me take his boat out that day. So I was at Dennis Borson's house with my dad's boat behind my truck. And I go to leave his party, and there's a blank spot in the yard. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll back the boat right into that and turn around. And it was late at night. It was like 1 a.m. I backed my dad's boat into Dennis Borson's in-ground trampoline. That's why nobody was parked there. And so the whole boat just dropped into Dennis's trampoline in his yard.
Did he know it happened?
Oh, yeah. We were out there trying to get it out.
I'm sure he figured it out.
We're all out there.
Multiple
beverages deep, multiple beverages. And I finally said, Dennis, we got to unhook the trailer. I'll come back and I'll get this tomorrow. So, I mean, we all back into things from time to time. So, I mean, what can we say? Moving on from that, focused back to the duel of the fuels, Travis running diesel, Jeff Hothem running alcohol. I'm aware that Neil Gettinger essentially used to swing both ways and bat for both teams, used to run diesel, now runs alcohol. Have you guys yourself considered that switch, or have you always been true to your fuel choice? Travis, have you ever run alcohol? Jeff, have you ever run diesel?
I never have run alcohol. I got in late after the divorce of the alcohol diesel class, so I was never involved in it. But yeah, I'm pretty diehard diesel. I'll die with black smoke.
Okay, Jeff, how
Black
about yourself?
smoke till you croak.
There you go. Well, no, we started pulling in 2001, and we transferred over to alcohol in 2010. And the main reason for that was we were pulling only on the state level. And the alcohol tractors were making a lot more power, a lot more performance, more positive things going on. And we knew in order to make our diesel run and to compete with these alcohol tractors, we had to dump a boatload of money into this diesel motor to make that happen. And we decided at that point to give it a turn and went to the alcohol side. So yeah, so we've been 01 to 10 actually 01 to 09, and then 10 we brought the alcohol out.
Okay, so on that, is it more economical to build big power with alcohol as opposed to diesel? Like at the level you guys are at?
Tyler, it's all expensive.
I know it is. I know it is.
It's all expensive.
If somebody were to get into it, does it cost more to get a top of the line turnkey tractor made by Chaos that's a diesel, or a turnkey tractor made by Josh Blackburn that's an alcohol?
I can't wait to hear this answer.
You're really putting us on a spot, bub.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. Come on.
Mini-rod pullers, we don't know shit.
Yeah.
Listen, and I think Travis will agree. Diesels put the motors through a lot more torture, a lot more problems, a lot more pressures, that type of thing. I've always said, and I don't know this for a fact, but and it's not really fair, because when we competition pulled with the diesel, we were only state level, and we were super, we didn't have, looking back on it, we didn't have money invested like we do now into the alcohol. So it's not really fair for me to comment on that. But I'll give you an opinion. I think the diesels put their motor components under more pressure, more strain, more issue potential than what the alcohol motors do. Then what's the cost? That I can't answer. I'm not an engine builder.
We'll get back to that. We'll have a few more drinks. We'll get back to it.
So from my side of that is, I remember, 4 or 5 years ago, the big discussion was we need to join the classes on the outdoor circuit, blah, 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 whatever. And I remember I have a good relationship with Brent Payne enough that me and him can elbow each other, every once in a while and throw jokes and bad whatever, but still have a good serious conversation. And Brent was like, we need to run together, whatever, and the comment, I don't know that it was Brent, but the comment from the alcohol guys, we're running all year, we're doing our routine maintenance, we're running valves, we're checking things over. Yeah, we have problems, this and that. And I remember we're standing there and say, yeah, we run valves every week too, just like the alcohol guys. That's because we got the head off. We're putting 6 new pistons in it. For us diesel guys to keep up with the alcohol guys on the outdoor circuit, we gotta be up there, and the screws got to be turned. A couple of years ago we were joking around. It's the Duel of the Fuels. The first year, they did that. They tied 3 in the finals, 3 alcohols, 3 diesels. How can you argue with Mike Witt and the boys on that? When they put 3 in there, there's no argument, guys. It was perfect match. And the second year, we went down there, and I don't remember what year, but a couple of years ago, we took 6 diesels to the finals and no alcohols. Last year, boy, those diesel boys, we were terrible. But the comment in edging Brent every once in a while, we each throw sticks and stones at each other, is I said, Brent, I'll run with you guys all summer. If you want to run, let's put the diesels and alcohols together. But we're going to run 240-foot tracks. Oh, no. Hang on, he says. We need a little longer track than that outside. That's exactly. We're all in. We've got the torque. They got the RPM. They got the spark plugs. We don't. it's good, bad, both ways. I'm not going to sit here and say them guys got one thing over what we got. We got something they don't. It's just a whole different environment. It works in Louisville, Kentucky. I hate to admit that I'll even say it. I like pulling in Louisville because it brings a lot of excitement to the fans with the dual fuel, which is why we're here tonight talking about it. But get outside. If we got enough to keep our classes separated outside, let's stay separated and put a better show on for the fans with 2 classes rather than 1.
So based on that note, when Colin Ross ran a whole year and ran competitively, did all the diesel guys want to tell Colin to go to hell for doing that?
No,
because he ran quite good with them.
He ran
hang on. Let me chime in. So that all sounds good, Travis. And, you know, we're going to get to politics and how this is like a political, it's like a 2024 presidential election podcast tonight. But like, so how did Colin Ross do it then?
Are you the mumbling guy from Connecticut or Delaware?
In my opinion, I have no facts.
They
run it on.
I'm not going to say who's. I don't want to say who's who, but let's call it Republican, Democrat. This is 2024 election. How did Colin Ross do it then?
They run it on kill from the outside.
You don't run yours on kill.
No.
Did you make the last hook of the year?
No. The 2 years I won the championship, we run most of the year on the same motor.
I got you.
That was the big thing for us. That's and there's 2 different ways to go pulling. You guys know this as well as you 3 mini rod knows this as well as anything. You guys can grab a hold of that mag and give her 2 to 3 degrees timing and wake that mini up. I mean, you can give her a handful. Now you might not make it 300 foot. You might make it 300, but you'll look impressive doing it. But on the other hand, if you're going to go run the championship tour, you're going to run for the points. At some point, you got to say, can we keep together? At some point, you got to decide, how much do I want to work on it? Do I want to put pistons and rings and bearings and cranks and motors and turbos and pumps in every weekend? Take the money out of the equation. That's irrelevant. How much do you want to work on it? And then if you want to work on it every weekend and you want to do it, you can run it as hard as you run it. It isn't any different than mini. If you want to throw bearings and rings in it every weekend, grab a hold of the mag and give her a twist. But Colin, and kudos to the Rosses. They did run with the PPL guys. That was impressive. I'll give credit where credit's due. Beautiful tractor, great running tractor. I'll give that credit. But I think a lot of us I was trying to build longevity to run for 2 years, or run for most of the year. I don't expect to run all year.
We heard you there. 2 years. 2 years.
We heard it. Yeah, no. It's on the podcast now.
So do you think Colin was putting pistons in it every weekend? Or at least tearing it down to inspect it?
Oh, yeah. That's my opinion. I have no facts on that.
But you don't run your stuff hard, though, Travis, right? Is that what you're saying? You don't run your stuff hard?
Not that hard.
Oh, okay.
Jeff,
way to finish the season out right making a hook every run.
Chase, that cuts into my beer drinking. You think I'm not ready for Louisville? I've had 5 months to do it.
Now, hang on. You can work on a tractor and drink beer. You can do both.
Right.
There's always both. Jeff, your thoughts on that? The Colin Ross.
Yeah, Colin Ross did a heck of a job. The Ross family team did an awesome job keeping up.
Did you get to run? Did you run that year?
Yeah, it was the year prior to the year we were waiting on the motor.
Oh,
yeah, that was back in 2021. Yeah, 21.
Yeah. I knew one of those years you set out a year waiting on an engine.
Yeah, shout out to Josh Black for you having to take a year off, right, Jeff?
Well, we pulled the first 2 events there, the farm show and the truck show, and then we had to wait a little bit. But that, look, good things come to those who wait. But Colin and his family did an awesome job. There is no, I don't know this for fact, but I would assume that they tore everything down or at least inspected something or many things to make sure they competed the way they did. They did an awesome job, and they were very competitive and did very well during that time frame. Very much so.
So for you listeners, for the listeners, Adam, you can have it after this. Some people may not know who Colin Ross is. Colin Ross, both of these guys are wearing their political hat right now. Again, this is like a presidential debate. Colin Ross is not political with these guys. He just goes up there and he runs with them. He has a diesel super stock tractor that ran a couple years ago on a PPL Champions Tour circuit against Alcohol Superstocks and did very well, competed. I'm not here to debate how he did or what he did, but we're just the host of the show that's got to ask the tough questions. So when Travis says that it's too much to be done, obviously you saw how quick Tyler asked, well, how did he do it? And that's how we got to this point. So just a little background. And Colin Ross, Kevin Campbell, episode 4 guest, go back and watch if you haven't. Adam, I'm sorry to cut you off. Tyler, give me a tally on the board.
Yeah, I already did, Chase. That's enough stroking Colin's ego there. If you had to
No
take a
shit.
drink every time, if you had to take a drink every time we said Colin's name, we'd all be hammered. My goodness.
Look,
God,
I'm not a
anybody who says it again has to take a drink. Adam, next question.
I'm just a facts guy. I'm just a data. I look at data.
Yeah, we were also hear you talking about a presidential debate. This is nothing like a fucking presidential debate. But
just wait till I ask my next question.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, kind of take me through it, Travis. I mean, as diesel puller, you've been around all these guys, pulling a nice close knit community. I mean, you and Burgess, obviously, we know. If anybody doesn't know, Steve, Butch, with the Lock and Load team are some of the best friends with Travis, and you know, here we've had a few tractors change up with like Becks and stuff like that, but you guys all hang out together. The whole class is a very tight knit class, and there's like a 5 to 10 minute, I guess, it's quiet around a diesel puller. You talk about how good the pull was, this or that, then you go check the filter. I mean, is like a moment where, you know, is that the first thing you go to? Isn't it every time to check on it, your filter? If the filter's clean, you work on the shit so much that you just get to push it on to the next one. And maybe you got to check some other stuff, but isn't that the whole deal? The filter tell you everything, whether you can really let her go again or not.
Yeah, I mean, this diesel program, we're on the ragged edge so hard that we're just our weakest link right now is the rod bearings.
Right.
The explosion is so violent underneath there, and it's in the rod bearing, and catch it, clean it, go. And you're right, the filter, it is. You get everybody back. We got a great group class in our diesel superclock. Everybody's gonna congratulate everybody, no matter who wins, whatever.
Right.
We're gonna head back to the trailer, pull that filter apart, and just see where we're at. That tells you what your workload is the next day. And
right.
It's interesting. The Blade Grade boys from Texas, great guys, and we really love pulling with them. But we had that conversation a while back. When I started 8, 9, 10 years ago, I remember down Chapel Hill, Tennessee, we're laying underneath Burge's tractor with a piece of emery cloth, rolling the motor over by hand, polishing a rod journal, so that we can go ahead and throw some used rod bearings in it to go out and bump the sled.
See, that was crazy.
That sounds like a great time.
Steve Blake,
how many beers a drink during that?
Me and Profabs told it. We stood there at the doorway and coached them on, whether they were running the emery cloth the right way or not. Steve Blake says, we don't do that as much anymore. And I said, well, why is that? He said, because the crankshafts cost $15,000 a piece. He said, it ain't worth ruining them, because once you went out and started the second time, the crank was junk. Well, that was back when, I don't know if things were cheaper with inflation. I don't know what that was, but them days are gone. Now everything's so tight tolerances. You run it. If it's not good, you're done.
Yeah, you just pull the plug and say we're not. And it's starting to get like, so with you guys, I mean, very few guys are anymore even staying in the trailer and go, we're going to sit here and tear this thing down. I get it if you're in the heat of the moment and you're going to win something like a championship. But, I mean, the days of you guys pulling all-nighters to rebuild the whole engine, you're pulling the plug on that deal. And, hey, we'll take this home at our shop with our tools where we know how everything laid out and just reassess and come back.
And most of our catastrophic failures, if you spun a rod bearing, they don't make good enough emery cloth to fix that in the tractor. And when we're burning a piston, you're just fooling yourself. That was what me and Steve were also talking about there is when you burn a piston, you blow that aluminum everywhere, and there ain't no chance you're going to get it all cleaned up without disassembling that motor 100%, clean it up. Because as soon as you don't, that little particle aluminum is stuck in the next rod bearing. Now we've destroyed a rod, crank, and hopefully we didn't kick it out the side of the block. So that was fun. Okay, we'll start over.
I mean, to put it into perspective, how many pounds of boost are you putting into that thing?
Don't think that number should be actually known right before Louisville.
Tyler, I'll give you a range.
A range. Back to politicians. Politicians. I'm sorry, range. Yeah, politicians range.
I'm going to say 300 and 400 psi.
That's badass, Jeff. What are you guys doing? You got that beat?
No, we are way lower than that. We are way lower than that.
150? You hitting 150?
Jeff, are you being a politician? Or are you going to tell us what you're going to give us a range?
We're between the 100 and 150 mark.
Dang. So,
okay.
What are those
huge difference?
What are the turbos capable of producing? If the engine could handle all the boost you could take, like if you closed off the boost,
oh my gosh,
like what could they do?
I'd like to have somebody figure out what that can do, because that means everything's going to blow apart, and I'm not sure if the sensors will catch it enough.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I mean, we're running two. I mean, I don't know about you, Travis, but we're running 2 wastegates on ours just to make sure everything's bled off properly.
You're giving away secrets, Jeff. You're giving away secrets.
No, just give a range. Just give a range.
We never get to see underneath Blackburn. We never get to see underneath Blackburn's hood, so we didn't know that there was 2 wastegates on there.
You just got to go to his New Year's party. The stuff's sitting everywhere. Travis,
easy, Tyler. Easy.
Travis, what do you think you could make for boost?
Oh, you could. You're well north. It can be up 400 or 500 psi if that motor would take it.
That's so much freedom.
As you guys know this as mini rods, I mean, you start tweaking on it. You grab timing, it blows this apart. You know, it doesn't matter. You chase your weakest link, and that's what I don't. There ain't an engine builder out there.
You said the weakest link is a rod bearing
that isn't chasing something. And hey, I'll give credit where credit's due. About 4 years ago, I was spinning rod bearings like it was my job, and we went into something, this and that, and I met a gentleman. I won't get into the names, but I met a gentleman. He said, "You got an oil filtration problem." And I said, "You're telling me my oil filter is my problem with spinning rod bearings?" "Yep." He said, "I don't care how much cylinder pressure you build. I don't care what you do. If you got a good oil, you'll never spin a rod bearing." I said, "Well, thank you for your opinion. I'd say you're full of shit."
Nice.
So I ate my words.
Was his name Colin Ross? Was his name Colin Ross?
It wasn't Colin
Take
Ross.
a drink, dude. Jesus.
So I ate my words that year. And that winter, I talked to a buddy of mine, guy that knew him, Burge, and I said, "Burge, send me an oil filter." This guy had a different designed oil filter. I put that oil filter on, and we run for 2 years with no rod bearing issues. And
so what's the next weakest link? What's the next weakest link?
And I shook that gentleman's hand and I said, "Sir, I owe you a thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for me." I said, "But that there fixed my problem." So there's times as we think we know what we're doing, that as pullers, engine builders, what we're doing, we need to step back and evaluate what we're doing. And because now that I look at it, I thought I was filtering my oil good enough, and I wasn't. And them impurities is what was causing me to tear up that rod bearing. Right. It was a simple $200 fix.
Jeff, are you silently thinking if you have good enough oil filtration?
Listen, my bearings are, I'm not going to brag, but my bearings are beautiful. So I'm thinking I'm doing all right. But that is good information to have, though, Travis. That is something right there.
I'm thinking what Jeff's going to do, he's going to go grab a hold of the wastegate, kind of like you guys grabbed the mag. Everybody pay attention when Hothem leaves the line at Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Grab that 11/16 wrench and come on, turn that up just a smidgen. Come on.
Well, Travis, I guess what my big question is, what is the next weakest link? So you got the rod bearing issues. Like, I know that these diesels can heat the piston up and it'll turn it into jello and melt it over the wrist pin and not phase a wrist pin or or the rod, but extreme cylinder pressures are a lot. I mean, what do you think the biggest issue is now? Is it a pump issue, turbo issue? What is it?
That's what's interesting is, on the outsider watching in, some guys are having turbo issues. Some guys are having injection pump issues. We're facing harmonics. I've been chasing harmonics for 2 years.
Right.
We'll fix it on the back end of the motor, and we'll chase it right out the front end of the motor. And then if we get it, one year we got it stuck in the middle, and it was back to eating rods and mains. I mean, we were just harmonics. Look at what we're doing. We're building 4,800, 5,000 horsepower at so many hundreds of pounds of boost. And, we're just, it's going. It's a chasing. I don't care which program you go on. You might be chasing turbo issues. Well, why are you chasing turbo issues? Why is the turbo failing? Is it because we're over speeding it? Because the fins ain't thick enough? The wheel failing? The bearings aren't good enough? I mean, we've been through it all. Guys, I still will tell this story. The first year I was out, I went through 7 bottom chargers.
Jeez. How much are those a pop?
Back in the day, this is almost embarrassing to say. I remember when I first bought my first 3 charger setup, I went to Hypermax, and let's see, what did we pay? We were buying turbochargers. My first, I suppose I had 4 ones on back when I first got them. Cast wheels, I want to say for $4,000 a piece.
That's a lot.
A Super Farm charger back in that day was $6,000 for one.
Nice.
I mean, I had $10,000 in all 3 setups. Not today. I'm gonna tell you, them days are long gone. But it was interesting where we have come from then to now, and chargers and all that. But and I can't throw the turbo manufacturer under the bus on all them. We broke oil belts. We broke. We were doing things. We were having oiling issues that we weren't realizing. Finally got me some good data acquisition by Cody at Corsa, and we finally put pressure sensors right at the turbocharger instead of just on an oil pressure line, and realized, hey, we were losing massive amounts of pressure through our lines, through our filters. So as we push everything, you find the next weakest link.
Right. Of course. Jeff, a question from Josh Blackburn. How many times did you have to tear your motor apart this past year?
0.
0. Does that mean you've never had it apart since it's been put together? Are you like Travis? You get 2 years out of it, or?
Well, yet to be determined. However, it has been 0 thus far, except for the turbo problems. But yes,
don't jinx him.
Not done it apart.
Okay.
Travis might get a speeding ticket tomorrow. I don't think you want to hex him.
Watch out for them running fire extinguishers.
Shit.
Question. Okay, so again, we're here to educate new fans to this greatest motorsport in the world. And for those of you trying to figure out this dual fuel talk, Superstocks, probably the biggest show of the Farm Machinery Show next week, Friday night. You have 6 diesels, Superstocks, 6 alcohol Superstocks. These guys never compete against one another voluntarily in the summertime. But for one time a year, they do come together and compete. So best of the best guys here, but it's also it's like politics, and one side can be Democrat, one side can be Republican. I'm not going to call one of you one way or another, but to try to illustrate what we're trying to illustrate here is this is like a presidential debate. Okay, so we're going to treat this next question I have like a presidential debate, because the elephant in the room with all this is both of these classes, as cool as they are, they only have, call it what it is, like 5 to 6 hard runners in each, which is they're the smallest classes in pulling. So the topic often comes up. Why don't they just run and go like they do in Louisville, which seems like a pretty normal question to ask. But apparently they like to stay with their political parties. So Jeff, I'm going to start with you again. I know you're not a politician. Answer this how you want, but nobody's going to think any less of you if you hit the Adam. Adam Button. So tell me one reason why the Duel of Fuels should be combined in a summer circuit, and then tell me why they should not. Start with you, Jeff.
Well, I think Travis said it earlier. The diesels have a huge advantage on a shorter track. Alcohols have a huge advantage when they can stretch their legs out and go on that further track.
Hang on, hang on. This is not This is not CNN, Fox News. Okay, why should they be put together?
Why should they?
Yeah, why should they be combined in the summertime?
Yeah, agree or disagree. Tell us why they should be.
Tell me, no. He's got to tell me why, and then he's going to play devil's advocate and tell me why they should not. So you can talk this lingo, but why should they be put together?
Class numbers.
They should. Okay, class numbers. Why should they not be put together? Your little spill you're going to give.
Oh, well,
give me another tally for that too, Tyler. For the guests.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
It's much needed. We don't like politics in the show, and we don't want our guests talking politically. So, sorry, Jeff. Carry on.
Yeah, you're running out of marker board here shortly, Tyler. But anyway, why should they not be? I mean, because it diminishes a class. If people go to a poll and an event to see 6 classes and we combine the 2, then there's only going to be 5. If we go to a poll where there's only 4 classes, we combine a class, there's only going to be 3. Would that draw less people? I don't know. I mean, that would be my theory. And again, like I said, going back to the longer tracks, outdoor tracks, longer tracks, alcohols should do a little bit better than the diesels. Shorter tracks, yeah, it's the horsepower versus torque scenario. The diesels have way more torque. They can get it going, and then they can, when the pan drops, they can get the sled, keep it moving. We, on the other hand, get the speed. When the pan drops, we have less torque, so we can't pull it as far. That's kind of my answer. It just
no. This is your platform. Nobody's voting for you, but it's your platform.
Yeah. So that's my theory anyway. Yeah, I think that's. I worry. To be honest with you, I worry about our class. And we have not gotten to the very worrisome part, because if we did get to that very worrisome part, we would be combining the diesels and alcohols together. We would have to. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but look at the number of competitors on the alcohol side. Look at the number of the diesel competitors on the diesel side. Where is the new blood? I don't see it coming in. And if you guys do, please chime in. But I just don't see that coming in. And I'm concerned as we all get older that we're going to have problems with this class, and the number of events may decrease, and that is a legitimate concern for me.
So present day, you're against it. For the future, you're for it. Are you saying that, Mr. Congressman Hothem? Are you saying that?
Right. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, it's cool if we do it in a select events. I mean, like Louisville and like, maybe a couple other places here and there. I don't feel there's a need for it yet. However, I do see that coming in the future.
Jeff, in case you haven't tuned in, we have had some influence on rolls, so we won't do it now. But we'll bring back your quote in the years to come. So, Travis, and by the way, Travis, you look like a young Mitt Romney. Imagine it's 2012 and it's Mitt Romney. You're a young Mitt Romney, and your Mitt Romney has a diesel super. You cannot repeat anything Jeff just said. So, tell us one reason why they should be together without going political, and then tell us why they should not without repeating what Jeff says.
So the tough thing is it's hard to not repeat what Jeff said, because there's the biggest thing is the reason the conversation ever happened was we should put them together because neither of us class had a good enough class number. Okay. The other part of that, to throw that in there, is, and I've talked to Vaughn about this, he runs the same sled setting. So if the sled set the same, we're running the same. Once again, I don't have an argument. I'm okay. Hang on. I don't have nothing to hang my hat on. Now, when I jump backwards here and go, okay, why shouldn't we? I do feel in our class, if you step back and look at pulling itself and look at the class sizes and what is happening in pulling. 5 years ago, diesel super stock class was the utterly most ridiculous class to ever get into due to maintenance and cost. Okay? This is a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. Pro stocks have took that award away from us. Now we don't have that no more. That's my elbow to all the pro stock pullers. I love them. I love watching them. They're great. They're fun. Good people. What I do seeing right now is we've got new diesel supers being built. Bowers, Campaign's building one or two. The Olden boys out. We've got some more blood coming in. But just like Jeff said, why is nobody going to the alcohol? I don't know that answer. I think some of it is they don't have enough hooks. So if I'm going to go invest, and I'm throwing out a fictitious number, don't care what it costs, $500,000 in a pulling tractor, I want to have a place to go pull. Now, the good thing about PPL and TPA, you can run both classes literally as long as you don't go fuel injection and all of that whole nother discussion. We can run both events. There's places to pull. But do we need some more events? Well, sure, they need some more events, but they got to get new pullers. So that is a step-by-step process. I'll throw NTPA under the bus, and I hope not to hurt nobody's feelings.
Oh, whoa, hey, Travis, we can't do this on the show. You can't hurt feelings. Okay.
Shut up, Chris.
When they allowed Cheezick to build the V8s,
this is what I was going to ask you.
Years, and then turned around and kicked them out. That put a damper on heavy alkies. That really did. So now we got to get back through that. I think the Cheezix HD has proved that we can run an inline 6 against the V8s, all of that stuff, so that opportunity's back that you don't just have to have a V8 to win in the heavy alkies. Brett Payne and the Glock boys are running good. All of them guys have done there.
Travis, we had the same thing happen in the mini rod class. I mean, I think it was kind of foolish of them to allow the V8s. For anybody who doesn't understand, I think it's probably the biggest story of super stock pulling in the last 10 to 15 years. NTPA let the V8s into the super stock class on the alcohol side of it, and they dominated. And then, much like they just did with Tyler, who's had a tractor in our class for 10 years, they say it was illegal, and they kicked him out. And the numbers got so bad in the class here the last couple of years. Well, we're going to open that back up because we need people to come back. Now, these are foolish things that have been done. Either you don't allow them at all to begin with. I know it's always easy to be Monday morning quarterback, but I think that particular instance hurt both classes in some respect. I mean, it really screwed up everything. That's exactly what I was going to ask you, though, when you brought that up.
I'm just hoping that we're weathering the storm, and I'm hoping in a couple of years somebody comes out and says, "Hey, I'm building a brand new heavy alky," and right. I just
few and far between, man.
It is, and it's a tough. You got to be committed, and it's hard. The other thing is you got to have your builders, because let's all be realistic right now. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to call up and I'm going to order a brand new heavy alky.
How much?
No, I ain't even worried about the money.
Give us the dollars.
We said we would get back to that.
If you're not going to go to Terry Blackburn, you're actually crazy unless you've got a good enough relationship with somebody else. And there is good builders out there along with Terry Blackburn. Brent Payne, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to list them out. But it's like you got to be in it for the long haul to buck the system. Kudos to Blackburn. I mean, Terry and Josh up there, great facility. I mean, I don't even use them. I'm just on the outside looking in. They're great people, build great products.
We talk about it. You got stuff.
Works.
You got a dyno and stuff. I mean, you do some pretty hot shit out of that building. I've been there. You got a new building though.
So
right?
back to our earlier question. And we said we get back to it later. By the way, shout out to you fans. Record number show again. Jeff, Travis, thank you for bringing the excitement to this show. Which one is cheaper? So we might have a prospective puller or a fan who wants to get into pulling. Which one is cheaper to buy? I want to bet the badass ass diesel super, most badass alcohol super. Which one's cheaper?
I don't know enough about. I don't know.
We're back to Mitt Romney again. Sorry, Mitt.
Yeah, we're back to the presidential debate here. We're not going to give an honest answer because I will tell you this: it's all expensive. I don't care what you build, what you buy, what you build or purchase that's already built. It's all expensive. It's crazy, and then you got to break it down into what do you want to do? You want to do local polling? You want to do state polling? Do you want to do national polling?
I want to go win the farm show. No. I want to go win the farm show. I'm trying to decide. I want to build a diesel or an alky. The most badass thing in the world. Which one am I buying that's cheaper?
You better have a big.
I'm going to tell you. I think this from an outsider looking in. I think you could build an alcohol.
Outsider? Hell, you're in the damn thing. You ain't an outsider, fucking Mitt Romney.
Well,
I don't get involved in the alcohol stuff, but I think the alcohol would be cheaper because I know how much expensive my diesel is. There can't be nothing that costs more than that.
So you consider switching?
Come on over, Travis. Come on over. Come on over to the good side.
You said it's not going to swing both ways.
Well, you look. You got to remember, Chase. There's building, and then there's maintaining. So a crank's a crank, a rod's a rod, a piston's a piston.
Hey, easy. These are complex words for him. He's freaking out.
Well, and I truly don't know the answer. But again, a crank's a crank, a rod's a rod, a piston's a head's a head. Is there monetarily much difference in the actual purchase price of these motors? I would Travis back say what you think, but I'm thinking they're the same or
no, they are. There's no doubt about it. They're the same.
Right.
Jeff, you guys are to the point where you're running aftermarket blocks. You're running aftermarket. Of course, you're running aftermarket heads.
Are you still recast there? Just a factory recast? You haven't dipped into that?
A factory recast.
Right? I was just checking.
Thanks for your comments, Senator Hothem and Congressman Schlabach. Next question.
All right, hang on. We got to have. You guys don't have commercials in here, and I'll be back.
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay.
Jeff, do you need to go get a beverage? Do you need?
The problem is I'm out of beverages and it's clear down at the hotel bar, and I'm not going to take time to do that. So I'm just fine. But I do need to do a slight break. But I'll wait till Travis comes back.
Oh, just like your turbo situation, you didn't plan very well for this, huh?
You're exactly right.
We might be bringing a segment up here in a little bit. I don't know that we'll all be able to talk about it, but when you're in Louisville for the week, what are some of your key things you do? Because you probably get there early, right? Unless you're not behind like this year, trying to get your stuff there. You show up what, Wednesday, Thursday,
Sunday?
Well, typically, and I think Tyler knows this already. We show up on Sunday night, typically. However, this year I do believe we'll be showing up around Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And
okay, so you're still there early. Still there early.
Oh yeah, still early, but not as early. I've been known to show up to polls, a couple 3 days in advance, and then I get made fun of. But that's okay.
Listen, karaoke machine going.
Yeah, well, right. It's to set up everything. Right.
Jeff.
But no, so Wednesday, where I just talked to Justin Atchison down there at the farm show down in Kentucky, and volunteered autograph signing on Wednesday night. Thursday, we'll get the tractor into Broadbent, we'll get it set up, get everything on display, get it cleaned up, get the wrap off the tires, get the extension cords taped down like we're supposed to, all that great stuff. Friday, hang out with the fans, and Thursday, hang out with the fans, and then Friday night we pull. So that's the plan.
Okay, and is there any establishments that you venture to? I don't know if you get up on the bull at PBR or anything. You know, there's a local establishment that a lot of us like to frequent there while we're there, and it's out by the airport. Have you ever been to that place, Stooges?
Are you talking about Stooges?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have been there. Yes, I have.
Have you guys ever heard of the No Practice Podcast local establishment spotlight? That should be the next question.
Oh, wow.
How about you, Travis? Travis, do you go to Stooges when you're down there?
Yep, I got it thanks to the Bollinger crew. First year I ever went to Louisville, Kentucky, no paint, didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a clue where we were, and run into the Bollingers somewhere randomly, and they were like, "Here's the address. Go to Stooges." Man, we had a great time, and I'll give the kudos to Bollinger boys. So now every year, got to go to Stooges.
Yeah. Is this Stooges in Kentucky? Yeah. So we're actually live on a podcast right now, and featuring Stooges Bar on our local establishment spotlight with the tractor pull coming up for the national show. Can you speak to what Stooges does locally there in the community with all of the tractor pullers rolling in during the National Farm Show week? Yeah. Hello.
I think she hung up on you.
Guys, that might have been our first ever hang up.
Wow. She's busy, man.
Yeah. Very friendly. Should I give it one more try? What do you think?
Give it one more try. They need this business. We're going to bring them.
Do you want me to talk about
the best part
the
was
podcast?
Tyler that they hung up on. That was the best part.
Yeah. Tell them that there's a chance that we might be kicked out of Freedom Hall after this.
Ask for Big Mike.
We might want a second location.
Ask for Big Mike.
Is that real, Adam? Is Big Mike real?
Yeah, he's the owner.
Is he really? Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm going Big Mike. Here we go.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be.
What did they block me? I just dialed the same number.
There's a chance we might need another site tomorrow morning for the No Practice Podcast. So
he's a manager.
Talk about that.
He maybe not the owner. He's a manager. That's from Mike.
Maybe they blocked me already.
They're done.
Who's this jackass from Michigan prank calling us?
They're done with us.
Yeah. Hi, is Mike there? Big Mike?
Big Mike?
Yeah.
Manager?
Two different mics. We'll take the bigger of the two, please.
Manager.
No, he's not here.
Oh, he's not here? Okay. All right. Tell us what's going on about at Stooges there this evening.
Like what's going on, like
Well, I mean, it sounds pretty hustle and bustle there. Tell us what you guys got going on for specials. Is the place packed?
Well, we have wells that are only $2.50.
Oh.
You can get any kind of sauce or drink for $2.50. Then we got margaritas on sale, and we have I think we have PBR drafts for only $1.50.
$1.50 PBR drafts. This sounds like a very economical place to grab a beverage. We're highlighting you guys right now. Other than your $1.50 PBR drafts, so what are the other draws to Stooges there?
We have slot machines. We have
Slot machines.
Slot machines.
We have pool tables. We have volleyball courts.
Volleyball courts.
Have,
Is it
outside seating?
okay?
Ask about the farm show.
Cornhole.
Okay. Do you work during the National Farm Machinery Show week coming up here in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to be in town for the National Farm Machinery Show. We heard Stooges was the place to be.
So they're actually doing like they do like shows on like during the weekend. I think it's Thursday. We're doing I think it's the 15th, February 15th. We're doing it's like a bikini wrestling.
Bikini wrestling. Tell us more.
Okay.
It's really cool. It gets pretty busy here, but
I would imagine.
and we used to do like wheelbarrow races, like Fridays and stuff like that.
My wife competed in that.
Wow. Wheelbarrow races, bikini wrestling, and live music. I can't imagine any other place I'd rather be during Farm Show Week than.
Ask them if they would host a podcast next Friday.
What happens to be your name?
My name is Kristen.
Kristen? All right. Yeah. Well, when we get there in a few weeks, we're gonna hopefully see you, and we're gonna have a drink there, and we're looking forward to it. All right.
All right.
Ask about a podcast. Can we do a podcast there?
All right.
Thanks.
You.
Bye. Now, Chase, I didn't want to seem too needy. I already got rejected once. All right.
Right. My wife actually got into the finals of the wheelbarrow race. Her and Rob, our buddy Rob from used to pull, and
tell us about it.
Well, I mean, they just have all the stuff out there.
No, not all the stuff. How does a wheelbarrow race work? Is it like a Home Depot unit and you got it full of logs, or how's it work?
Two
Adam?
people. You hold their legs and you walk across the floor in your hands, which I told my wife she better go wash her hands after. Well, actually, I think, did they take turns? I'm trying to remember how they did it. It was late one night. Man.
Your wife's a mother now, right?
Yeah, but she just still kick ass.
No.
I don't, honestly, I looked over and they're doing wheelbarrow races. She said, "You want to do it?" Well, hell, they got down to the finals, and I think they got screwed because I think the winner's like, it's either $500 or something like that. But,
for a topless wheelbarrow race, it's got to pay good.
No, she didn't take place in
topless?
the bikini wrestling.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I sent some pictures over to the producer of our show. Can we get some pictures that I sent you earlier of Chase there?
Was Chase in the wheelbarrow race?
Mr. Producer.
Needless to say, Stooges is a staple for the Farm Machinery Show every year. And for you people coming into Louisville, Kentucky, we highly recommend Stooges Bar. You can hear the excitement.
This place is so... It's hard to see, but see that?
Oh,
that is
Chase.
It's
is
hard
that
to
Chase
tell.
in a fire suit at a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. You guys,
so I have two pictures. I have two pictures here. This one's hard to tell, but there's a woman standing behind him, and Chase walks in with his fire suit on, and they're kind of looking over the shoulder at him and whatnot. And he says, "Yeah," which I think he broke that night, but he's like, "Yeah, I just came from the tractor pull. I just won $25,000." And
yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
The girl looked at him and says, "That's it."
No, hold on, Adam. Were they referring to the $25,000? Is that it, or
exactly?
Case being that's it?
Exactly.
Oh, Jeff with a hot penis joke there. I caught that.
Whoa!
Penis joke there. Yeah. That's funny.
I
but
don't think those pictures are real.
You're right. AI generated them.
Travis and Jeff, when we meet up with you guys at Stooges, I hope you guys know enough to remove your fire suit so you're not just, hey, look at me. I ran at the farm show. Oh.
I don't even like wearing it on the track. I surely ain't wearing it to the bar.
That is a true statement right there.
Whoa.
Hey, Travis, that's a question for you guys. If we're at a pool, it's late at night, and you could pick one guy that if you show up their trailer, they're still going to be in their fire suit. Who will that be?
Hurt?
That's good.
Jeff staying in his fire suit?
Hang on, I got to eat my words. Jeff left his on the track.
I was going to say, he doesn't eat.
As soon as he jumped off the tractor. Yeah.
Okay, we can't use him, but who? I mean, I would say it would have been Randy Petro if he was still around, no doubt about it. But
yeah, that's fair.
Hall of Famer, best of all time,
for sure.
I
don't think anybody.
I get caught checking my oil filter still have my driving pants on, and people start making fun of me. So I ain't the real fast about getting it off.
Yeah, but hardly anybody wears it to a bar that's literally like 15 minutes from the pool. I could see if.
That wasn't the farm show, Adam. That wasn't the farm show. It was a truck show.
Truck show don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't
matter.
Quit trying to make excuses.
Yeah.
Quit trying to make excuses. You're trying to grab some tail and show up in your fire suit. So, dang, I'm hot.
Just won $25,000, and she said, "That's it."
Right?
I don't think that part of the story is true.
That's all you got.
You know what they say about podcasts? You can't believe anything. You can only believe so much that is heard on there.
Three sides to every story.
Yeah. All right. Do we got any fan questions we need to get to before signing off here, gentlemen? What do you think?
Well, I have one more question myself. We've had a ton of fan questions.
Okay.
So obviously the natural connection with us and you all, we're not super stock competitors, but a gentleman that we're friends with, he was actually our first ever guest on our podcast. He's jumping up to your class, Adam Bauer. He does not mind to turn mags and work on his equipment. So just to be real candid, Travis, are you nervous about Adam Bauer getting a diesel super stock? Because pretty well everything he touches, he's going to at some point kick your ass with it. Are you nervous about that?
I'm excited for Adam Bauer. Me and Adam Bauer have drank a few beers for about this deal.
No.
I think he baited me in there a little bit one night over a couple beers, but no, that was cool. I think I'm most excited to pull against Adam for the simple fact of I don't think anybody can deny that Adam is an excellent puller in no matter what class he is in.
For sure.
And the challenge of pulling against Adam will, I think, make me a better puller. And I'm excited. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not giving him a free ride and stroking his back on that. I want to see. He has never had to hold the clutch, run the throttle, and light a motor with turbos on it.
That's a lot of things for him.
Oh, wow, so you're saying he can't even get off the line? So
well, I'm not saying he can't, and he's kind of the no practice guy. Adam don't get to practice. We already had that.
Who does practice? Who does practice in this sport?
And, an interesting story. So years ago, a very good friend of mine, Glenn Freeze, his mother was, he's got a light super alcohol tractor and pulls a lot of the Outlaw Polling Association. I've known Friezo. He's helped me build my tractor back when we started building it. He lives 15 miles away from me. Great guy. And he called me one day. His mom wasn't doing well. And he said, Trav, I need you to take my light super down to Troy, Missouri, and I'm running points and just make a pass with it. And I said, oh, whatever you need, whatever you need. I had the weekend off and, no problem. So I said, but dude, is there a chance like I could sit in the seat and maybe drive this in the parking lot or something? Maybe just see what I'm getting myself into. He's like, yeah, come on up. So he throws me in the seat. We start the tractor. And I'd been around the tractor some. I do some electrical wiring and some plumbing help and different things like that. I'm not on the motor guru side of it. And been around it. So, yep, got it in there. Yep, we drove it out of the shop. Went back to the shop. He's like, you got it? Yeah, shit, this seems simple. He says, just like driving your tractor. Just like, you don't have to, just like driving it, Bring the throttle up, load the clutch, do this. I'm thinking to myself, that thing of mine, there ain't no loading the clutch. I just don't quite get this thing. So we take it down to Troy, Missouri, and his daughter Burgundy goes with us, and she knows how to check the air and do all that funny stuff that you do, with all that. I don't know why you guys do all that.
That Adam Bauer does, yeah.
Yeah, just bend it and send it, my motto, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they back me up. I get into the sled and whatever, and okay, so I got the clutch held in as hard as I can, and I'm bringing this throttle up, and I'm bringing it up, and this thing, and it isn't a little bit longer, and this thing is like, you got the choke pulled on your old lawnmower, and it's flooding out, and it's flubbered and blurted, and I'm like, I got the throttle literally wide open. We're not doing nothing. I'm like, this must be the time that we load the clutch. And I move my foot like a 16th of an inch. And we go from blurbering, can't keep it running to 1,800 RPM to 8,000 RPM in 1.2 seconds. And the next thing you know, we are from chalk line to chalk line all over. I kept it on all four wheels, and then we stopped.
How'd you finish?
How did we do?
He says, so I call him up. I got like fourth place, 4th out of 6. He said, you did exactly what I needed. We stayed around. We're all good. He says, how was the ride? I said, dude, I'll tell you what you need. You need 2,000 pounds on this son of a bitch because it's like a hog on ice. It's nothing like driving a goddamn diesel. Ain't nothing normal about it. I mean, you have that spark plug in there to lit the fire. Hell, that's easy. So to Adam, all he's got to do is bend the throttle and it goes. So, I'm telling you.
Thanks for tying all that back into our original question.
I want to be there to watch this.
Yeah, all these dang alcohol, bend it and send it, fellers. I tell you, there ain't nothing to that.
I think I think that would be like I drove a diesel super stock one time. I choked it the first time.
Yeah.
Do you think I don't know what's going to be more interesting to him is like the clutch pedal pushing on him probably is going to be the thing that he has to get used to.
Yeah. And
you really got to push it in there.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you got to.
I mean,
force feed.
I heard you're going to be able to bet on this shit. I heard you're going to be able to bet on this shit. So when Travis Schlabach versus Adam Bauer is head to head, and he's paying out a lot, I should probably bet on him the way it sounds.
Yeah, that sounds
don't
good.
get me wrong.
Okay, good
People
call.
out there that can bend it and send it with a turbocharger the first time, I'm betting on Adam Bauer because he can do it.
Okay.
Yep, that's fair. All right,
that's probably a good bet to jump on early.
We are over 2 hours now, so we gotta wrap this up before Chase falls asleep on us. But one segment we got to touch on yet is called Two Truths and One Lie. And Travis, I hope Chase told you about this. I know he didn't tell Jeff, so I had to inform Jeff. Travis, are you prepared for this segment? Do you know how it works?
Actually, believe it or not, Tyler, today I was driving down the road and think, God, I got to come up with my 2 truths and 1 lie. So I have them wrote down.
All right,
he's one of our thousands of fans across the world.
Yes,
Tyler.
of course.
He's watched podcast. Yeah.
For those of you that are big Hothem and Travis Schlabach fans that are just tuning in for the first time, how the 2 truths and 1 lie segment works is each of you are going to tell us 3 statements, all presenting them as truths, and it is up to us 3 to tell you guys which one is the lie. Travis, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to base this on a little bit of the history of me, the kind of behind the hook. You guys all probably, a lot of people seen the behind the hook that the Bowling Green guys, which thank them for that. That was a fun experience to do. I thought
you're a movie star.
Awesome exposure to the sport. It was a badass series.
Yeah, so I thought that was, and I'll tell you what, if anybody gets a chance to do that, I'll tell you real quick. Between me and Allison, we spent about 8 to 10 hours of interviews to make that 10-minute clip. So it wasn't just, a 20-minute ride around town, whatever. So kudos to them guys. Kudos to the blue shirts for doing that. I thought that was super awesome. But here's my 3.
Absolutely.
First one, I was born in Florida. Second one, I graduated high school with a 4.0 and was valedictorian. Third one, I was married and a dad at 18 years old.
Well, before we guess, Travis, congratulations to you for being our first ever guest who writes them down on a note card like he's reading his ABCs in front of his first grade class.
That's tough. I feel like this is the hardest one we've had so far. Chase,
this is so easy. It's so easy. Number 2, the valedictorian. That was a valedictorian, right?
Yep. I graduated.
No fucking chance. There's no chance. You've already said you pass cops driving on the road and run over a fire extinguisher. That's not valedictorian.
Fire extinguisher.
So.
Yeah, fire extinguisher.
Jesus Christ. Hey, the presidential debate's starting to get to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Travis is looking pretty smart. He's got multiple desks covered in papers. That's a sign of intelligence. Everybody knows that. But I am indeed going to go with number 2 as well regarding the 4.0.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Adam, what are you thinking on that?
Oh, I know it's number 2. So I'm just listening to Chase and his presidential blabber, much like
Travis,
some other people.
Tell us all about being born in Florida and being a father at the age of 18.
I was actually born. My mom and dad were from Iowa, Well, my grandpa used to go to Florida every year for retirement. So that's when they moved down to Sarasota, Florida. So I was actually born in Sarasota, Florida in 1973. And then September of 73, they moved back to Iowa in like November of 1973. But I was born in Florida.
Nice.
I was very young for my class. Mom sent me to school because she didn't want to pay for daycare. So I had to go to, born September 11th. September, I think 15th was the date. The school wanted to hold me back. She's like, nope, he's going. We need to get him out of the house. But
yeah, blame your mom.
I tell that story. My daughter was born September 9th, 1992, which was when I was 18 years old. I was turned 19 the day we brought her home from high school. Or from
so you picked up
high school.
You picked up breeding very quickly.
I'll tell you what you learn then is it's time to get a second job, and you got to get busy and go to work.
Yeah.
And my other one that I originally had wrote down, Chase, you'll get a kick of that. First one was I was going to say I have a 4-year degree in psychology, but I knew you guys would never fall for that one.
Right.
Travis, I got to ask you something because we love our fans. That little note card or sheet of paper you have, would you be willing to sign that? And then we're going to do a little contest at the end of this podcast for people who share it. Someone's going to get that mailed to them in the mail from Travis Schlabach. You will. I'll give you a postage stamp. I'll pay you back for the.
How
postage.
good is your handwriting? Basically,
you should send that to a fan though. Can you put it on your screen? Put it on your screen, Travis. Is there really a note card there you got?
Does your handwriting look like a child wrote it, like mine does?
Oh yeah.
Look, Travis, we used the same things. I didn't write anything on this one today.
Travis, so we're going to do a little promo at the conclusion of this podcast for people who share this. They're going to get a signed version of that postmarked from you to their inbox or to their mailbox.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Travis.
I'll provide the stamp.
That's a big deal.
All right.
Jeff,
I'll pay you back for the stamp with a beer.
That is a tough act to follow, Jeff, when it comes to Two Truths, One Lie. This gentleman came prepared, and I hope you are prepared to come as well to this segment.
Well, I am. And I too did prepare for this event. And these 2 truths, 1 lie that I was told of about 2 hours ago. And I did it electronically on my notepad on my phone.
Well, you're going to have to mail your phone. Come on. Take it away, Jeff. You guys, did Jeff just freeze?
Did Jeff freeze up? Oh,
my God.
Well played, Jeff. Well played, Jeff.
I think he locked up.
Oh, he's locked up.
Oh, gosh. I could say so much right now, but
Chase,
Jeff, your Wi-Fi sucks.
Hey, Chase, pretend you're Jeff Hothem and tell us Jeff's 2 truths and 1 lie. He just
Poor
left.
Poor fella.
Chase, go for it. Come on, Chase. You're going to hold up the show if you don't do this right now. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I'm Jeff Hothem.
Yep, go. 2 truths,
Jeff Hurt and I have slept together on a trailer floor in the pits.
Okay.
I have ran a super stock tractor without checking my oil filter.
Okay.
I hate diesel supers.
Okay. I'm going to go with the first one as a lie. Adam, what do you think?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know. I bet him and Hurt have probably slept on the floor of the trailer together.
Him and Hurt have laid down somewhere together on a trailer floor.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay. Hopefully he didn't hear anything we said. Come on back, Jeff.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Yeah, Jeff, get on here. Yeah.
I think our backstage producer may be asleep right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Pretty bad.
Jeff, we're sorry. We can only do so much. We're already over our limit.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, which one of those do you think is the lie?
Ooh, I would say I can believe them 2 ended up sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, I've been drunk enough with Jeff. I think I slept on a trailer floor.
I guarantee he's run with he's run the oil filter without checking it. So
yeah,
that'd be the last one.
Yeah.
He probably checks it every pass, dude.
Okay.
He's like me. I always check the oil filter every single pass.
Well, you got to. Even in a pull-off? Do you before a pull-off or no?
I have.
No.
I have.
I'll be honest, when my dad, Bruce, goes to check the oil filter before the pull-off, I look at him when he's got the tool, and I say, Dad, no matter what you see inside that filter, you are going to run it anyway, so don't even check it. Because what's it matter?
Right. Yeah, back in the day before we had all this new stuff, like, I don't know. A lot of it's preventative. We check the oil filter just to make sure that we don't have any extra, you got a push rod burning or something.
Absolutely.
We never have those very often, but
Chase, can you quick call our producer to let Jeff back on?
Yeah, he already went to bed for the night.
Oh, okay.
But Adam, you're the same way as what I talked about earlier. Is everything is more sophisticated now, so we're all taking that little extra effort.
Sure,
absolutely, guys. We've got Jeff back. Jeff, can you hear us?
Jeff, apologies for the technical difficulties. We may or may not speculate on what your questions are going to be, but the floor is yours. 2 truths, 1 lie.
Jeff, take it away.
I heard some of that.
And if you say something about you and Jeff Hurt laying on the floor together, the internet might go dead. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that. But yes, so 2 truths, 1 lie. As a child, I ate cat food as a snack.
Okay.
Number 2, I once navigated sailing from island to island in the British Virgin Islands. And number 3 is I didn't really enjoy farming, and I didn't until I started tractor pulling.
I'm going to go with number 3. Chase, Travis, Adam, what do we think?
Number 3.
Travis, what you got?
I'm going number 2.
You're almost valedictorian. I want to listen to you.
Yeah, I'm going number 2.
Yeah, me too. Number 2, you've never been in the British Isles, Hothem.
In fact, yes, I have. I have navigated the oceans and been to the Virgin Islands dancing with the fine island women. It is a great experience. I recommend that to anybody. And yes, I did eat cat food as a kid.
So you didn't.
You have picture evidence. None of this shit's believable. Can you prove through pictures?
Those aren't podcast sensitive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Did you have a particular flavor that you liked, like Meow Mix?
I thought you were talking about the island women, Adam.
Women too, but I'm gonna go downhill real quick. Yes, it was actually Meow Mix. And another side thing to that, do you remember the little dog bones that had the meaty centers in them?
Oh my God! You ate them
on the outside and had the meaty centers.
No,
T-bones.
No, not you, because you were born in like 1990, you dummy.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so I would poke out the meaty centers too.
Damn it, boy.
Sometimes you got to poke out the meaty center and consume it. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap it, boys.
Yeah. Meow Mix is a good sign off. Jeff, Travis, our record number of viewers. People love Diesels versus Supers. Thanks for being politically correct and also opening some behind the scenes opinions on this. You guys are elite. You know what I really want to happen? So we have, I don't know if you heard, the No Practice podcast will be live at Louisville prior to the Farm Machinery Show. Before this podcast, we might be at Stooges after they listen to it. But I would love for a Travis Schlabach, Jeff Hothem 1-2 finish. Either way, if that does happen, we will all of our fans that are tuned in tonight, we'll come up with something fun to do. We'll come up with a T-shirt, Hothem Schlabach No Practice Podcast T-shirt for that 1-2 finish, and we'll give it away. So,
come on, Travis, let's do it.
Don't be surprised if there's a T-shirt that says Jeff Hothem likes Meow Mix on our.
I mean,
no, but in all seriousness,
better Meow Mix than meaty centers.
That's right.
You guys go 1-2. We're gonna have a T-shirt. We're gonna give away to fans. So we're with you. We would bring you on Friday in Louisville, but we'll know you'll be busy. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Our comments were awesome. Again, these podcasts could go for 3.5 hours, but we do have people that have to have jobs and have to work tomorrow.
Give us a rating and subscribe.
Adam has people shit he's got fixed, and like he said, We have merchandise on the Full Pull merchandise link. We have like, subscribe, give 5 stars. We're going to give somebody Travis Schlabach's notepad comments there. We're gonna mail it to you in the mail via Travis's stamps. And again, it's been awesome. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Anybody else got anything to add other than we love these guys and we love this podcast?
Thank you guys for doing this every other Wednesday. It's fun to listen to you. It gives us something different. Way better than watching Dancing with the Stars with my wife, I can tell you that.
That's the bar very low. We're
having us on. I really appreciate it.
Since you guys are fellow pullers, you got any guests that you should we maybe make public that you'd like to hear from us?
We got the after hour segment coming. We're going to talk to these guys.
Think of that. I'll send you some.
Hey, Jeff and Travis stay on afterwards. But fans, we love you. See you in 2 weeks live from Louisville, Freedom Hall. Stooges, special shout out. Cheers. Happy pulling. See you soon.
Cheers.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.